the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce cards, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana for the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th, handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org.
I'll take another IPA for the crack. I think this one was going to be a little too much for me. Have you guys had this? The cider mosa?
No.
Oh, man. Do you like mimosas? Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, these are really, 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 really good.
Cool.
I'll send you guys home with that one.
Sweet.
This is really good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, that one's nice. Ooh, okay.
Got to start the show off right, guys.
There it is.
The old caribou call.
I went fishing yesterday.
I saw that. I was going to ask you that before the show.
Yeah, Tyler Storch, shout out to Tyler. I think it's Fly Fishing NAK is his Instagram. Me and him have been trying to connect for like months. He's a slope guy. He comes back and he's got 2 weeks off, and he's just like every week is like packed. He's like, I'm gonna go get Lakers and Lake Louise, and then like 2 days later I'm gonna go fly fishing here, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And he like invites me. I'm like, I got kids and family, and I gotta go to work. so we finally made it happen on Sunday. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go with you. And so we went out there, and the funny thing is like he's been like sending me all these pictures and hyping it all up, and all these. He's like, oh yeah, we caught 30 this time, and this time we got 20, and and what did we get yesterday? 0.
I saw you like posted something about going fishing, but I didn't see anything caught.
Yeah,
Like, well, maybe they
that's
just
how
had a
you
really
know.
good
That's how you
flow.
know you didn't catch anything when it's just pictures of like scenery.
That's why they call it fishing.
Yeah, but not complaining at all. It was beautiful. It was beautiful out there. It was like mid-30s. There was only one other group on the whole river. I haven't gone much up there. Yeah, there he is right there. I haven't gone much up there in the wintertime. And him handling that jet boat and that like skinny, like you would know, Brandon, you're a jet boat guy. I mean, it's technical, dude. It's like you gotta, I mean, it's skinny, there's rocks, you gotta like read the river and know where you're going. And he did an excellent job like taking us up there, and he's one of those guys. He's like, I was like, well, what I need to bring, I'll bring my rod and my stuff. He's like, I got some rods, but you can bring yours in case or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'll bring mine. He's got like 12 rods, like set up, all different setups, like ready to go.
Yeah, no need to even get yours out.
No, I was like, why did I even bring this thing? Like, this guy's like ready to go.
Oh, I'm sure they're all top of the line. I mean.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I don't let anyone use these. And these are all like, you know, he probably had like, I don't know, $50,000 worth of rods on the boat. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I was like, I'll make sure to set this down gently. But really nice guy. One of those guys that's just like, you know, got all the time in the world to do all the fun stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, when he's home.
Yeah, when he's home. But you know, I'll call him this weekend when he's at work. Be like, hey, I'm going to the slush cup, man.
Rub it in.
He's up there just grinding away.
Yeah.
What was the river? I guess, okay, a couple things. You're fishing mid-river.
Yep, we put in at Bing's.
Bing's.
And went
Okay.
up.
So you can launch in Bing's right now?
Yeah.
It's got to be like steep.
Yeah, like I guess there was like an ice shelf there that someone must have just broke it off. He said, yeah, you'd have to just kind of like drop it in, drop the trailer off the edge, push the boat off the edge of it.
Okay.
But someone had kind of chopped it up. So it's pretty narrow and it's like kind of grooved in because everything's kind of melted but then froze again. But he had no problem getting it in there. You got to kind of like push it out past that initial area to get it into the main part of the river because it's really shallow. And then we went.
So walk the boat out into the
main
the channel.
Yeah.
And then push off, and then you can get up on step and go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so then we went all the way up to as far as you can go because there's like the sanctuary for the what's the birds? Swans. There's a swan sanctuary, and you're not supposed to like put your boat past that during some time frame. He knew the
Going
rules.
towards Ski Lac?
Yep.
Huh. Is that like past the burn?
Yep.
Okay. So you went in from Bing's all the way.
Past the edible camp.
Okay.
These guys are like, huh? I had a really bad edible experience one time with these guys on this part, and now that's just the edible camp to me.
Yeah, you know when your buddy makes the caramels, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know about those ones. Those ones should be good, but those ones are like code red."
Yeah, and full warning, but you know, he's like, "You might be code red, you might be all right," and I chose the wrong one.
It's like just eat.
It was a bad night. It was a bad
bite first. And
just take the whole thing. I'll be good. No, that worst night of my life. Anyway, so not much past that.
Okay.
Up there, and we fished all over the place. I mean, it wasn't for lack of effort. He did hook into one really, really big one, but kind of lost it before we were able to like look at it.
Just had it on for a little bit.
Yeah, it was a big one. You could just tell the way it was like whipping that tail in the water. Just
Oh, you saw it. You did see it surface a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I didn't hook into any. He did get a little smaller one. And he did catch a whitefish too, which he kept, so he's going to use for bait for the Lakers, he said.
A whitefish in the Kenai?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty nice one too. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know you could get those in there.
Yeah. So it was a beautiful day. Thank you to Tyler for taking me out there. That was great.
Yeah, way cool, man.
And then Saturday, I took the family to the Sportsman show, which was fun. I will say, I don't know when it used to be. Did you guys used to go when it was at the Sullivan?
Yeah.
I think
It's a different show.
It's a whole different thing. I don't know. I'll be honest. I wasn't that impressed with the show in general. I mean, it was nice to see everyone out. It was really cool to see people out there, you know, promoting their businesses and all that. I felt like every government agency in the state was there, like trying to recruit.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
It's been normal since we've been in the Denina or whatever. Yeah.
Denina,
yeah. but that's only the second year there now. So
Yeah.
Okay, because last year was the first year.
since COVID, it's been in there. So
Yeah. Last year I was excited that Sportsman Show was back. There's a shop downstairs. You know, the garage open. Got it. I was really enthusiastic and excited. Got to meet you guys last year.
Yep.
You know, new vendor, new gear. It was, you know, that was exciting. Got a product, and this year I was expecting a little bit more, just because it came back last year, and I thought, oh man, like could we somehow get the fishing pond in there again and all that stuff? You know, and then it wasn't there, and then I talked to Slinker Dustin about that, and apparently that that became discombobulated once they turned the Sullivan into a homeless shelter.
Correct.
So that thing just kind of like disappeared. So I'm assuming it's like bits and pieces of a camp out there somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, from what I understand, I've not been there, but yeah.
Yeah, so
we hear that from a lot of people, like, oh, I didn't even go this year because I usually go to take the kids to the pond. Sure. You know, and so,
Yeah. What would you guys say as far as like people that showed up? I mean, it seemed really busy when I went.
I mean, we missed the first day because we were stuck because of the volcanic clouds or whatever. And I think there were some empty spaces too for vendors because people had to cancel, couldn't get in from Seattle and some other places. So that kind of influenced a bit too. The crowd seemed to be similar to what it was last year, but definitely the crowd is not the same as it was when it was over at the other spot at Sullivan. So. Yeah.
When you did the Sullivan, were you just a guest coming to the show, or did you guys have Sagebrush in there then?
Yep. Yeah, we did.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I did 2 years over there and then 2 years here. So
okay, so that was what 18, 19 probably then.
Correct. Yeah, because I took the business over in 17, and then 18 was my first year here.
Oh.
Yep.
You know, maybe I just didn't make it to the Sportsman Show those years.
And it was big.
It was huge.
So many people didn't, we had people even yesterday saying, oh, this must be your first time here. Like, no, we've been here.
Well, it used to be so big. It was all in that arena, and then there was all on the outside, and even people at like Bamboki.
Oh, and then there's all kinds of boats
outside and tents. It was like
the whole parking lot was covered and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So almost you couldn't like get to see everything.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a chance it could get back to that, or are they going to have to change the venue?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it can it go back there. I don't know what's going on with.
No, I don't think so.
Well, they're supposedly closing that back down and kicking all of those people out of there. There's been a lot of like push from the community to get that back, especially like the hockey community. I know the Wolverines and these guys want to play their games in there and events and the shootout and all this other stuff. So there's a push to like make that back to what it was. But I know that they already set a date, like it's closing as far as the homeless shelter like soon, like within a month. I want to say it's going to be back to a space that's rentable for whatever events.
I thought the Alaska Airlines Center, where the Seawolves play volleyball and basketball, would be a great venue. I can only imagine that's been proposed somewhere down the line by organizers. Have you guys ever been to the Alaska Airlines Center?
I
haven't.
It's a beautiful facility over by Providence.
Okay.
And it's got a massive parking lot, tons of parking, period.
Yeah.
That would help.
Beautiful.
That's an issue downtown.
Yeah.
Right now,
Big
sure.
issue. Yeah.
Oh,
I bet you guys had to park how far away and carry all your stuff, or did you guys?
Well, it's pretty good for setting up, and it was it was easy.
We got the
late,
special
right?
We showed
treatment
up
this
late.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
They opened up the back door, and it was the easiest setup we ever had.
was
Oh, okay.
quick,
Nice.
We were the only ones setting up. There was no competition. We had carts available, everything, and the security was escorting us in. But
cool.
we had to set up early Saturday morning before the show started because we'd already missed day one. So
I heard Friday was pretty cracking.
the guy next to us who he makes these little short halibut rods. Really cool.
Yeah, Whopper Stopper.
Whopper
Yeah.
Stopper.
He said he's been doing the show for like 15 years. He said Friday was the best. He's like, I don't mean to rub it in that you missed, but Friday was the best day I've ever had here.
Yeah.
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 Everyone around us honestly said the same thing. So
Yeah, the lady selling ice
Yeah.
cream, same thing. Like, gosh.
yeah.
God damn it. Well, who can control Mother Nature and volcanoes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was
Yeah.
not-
That's
Not
weird.
us.
Yeah, that's weird that Friday because like everyone's at work. I would think
But
Saturday.
they're open
would
till
be-
like 8, so I bet people just like make it an activity after work or
Oh.
something.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I used to do the Friday opener too. Back in the day, B&J's.
Oh yeah, they had big blowout sales.
B&J's
going
was
on.
in there. Actually, I'm thinking of Boondock Sporting Goods in Eagle River. Used to have a vendor table there, and they had smoking deals on firearms. And to this day, you can't. They don't have any setup. But you would go and you would look at the items, and then you would have to go to the store in Eagle River and go get your firearm. Man, it was like that vendor station was just popping. It was like everybody was going there to get that smoking, screaming deal on a firearm.
So you want to go Friday?
You want to go Friday because they were like, okay, they're out of that 44 Smith & Wesson. They're out of that, Tika 7mm or whatever. They only had so many.
It probably makes sense too, because I noticed the Can-Am boys in Polaris were out there, and they had like $500 off, $1,000 off the deal. So if you're really waiting to buy something like that, a big ticket item, and you want to go Friday, so you can get that discount or whatever.
Yeah,
that
they
makes
have
sense.
so much stuff in stock too. Yeah, AME and mining and diving had a hell of a setup though.
Oh wow, yeah.
All the boats and everything, they seem like they really went all in.
Yeah, they
as
had
far as
that
how
little mini excavator behind the 4-wheeler.
Oh, the little Mahindra thing, yeah.
Cool stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of really good products. My brother's a tech over there,
Okay.
and man, they took over Suzuki Arctic Cat, is what that used to be.
Okay.
Do you remember that over on Commercial Drive?
I mean, I know so very little about Anchorage the way it is.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay,
very
yeah.
seldom here, yeah.
Mining and diving right there has always been there, and
Okay.
Suzuki Arctic Cat used to be just right around the corner. They ended up buying them out, and
Okay.
they turned it into that mining
Cool.
outfitter, and that's been huge.
Yeah, we actually talked with them a little bit about they're trying to put together some kind of packs for people that are going out gold panning and stuff, and gold metal detectors. So we had a little conversation about maybe collaborating on something like that. So,
Oh, that's really cool.
That'd
Get
be
your
cool.
gears turning on kind of a custom
Yeah.
backpack of some
yeah,
sort.
something, just a little minor pack. We came home with a little kit of what they're kind of ideally trying to put in there, so we're gonna play around with some ideas. for
Nice.
them. Yeah.
Get to the lab and just geek out.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like we like
Yeah.
these Alaskan niche kind of projects more so than like
Oh, yeah.
getting into like making soft-sided coolers or something like that. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Something that's applicable to a specialty.
yeah, people that are
You
really
know.
getting after it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Is your side by side a Wolverine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That one that was in there looked nice.
That's the RMAX.
That's like the next level one?
That's the hot boy.
Okay. I was like, because my wife was like, that looks like, doesn't Brandon have this? I was like, yeah, but it's not quite the same.
no,
This one looks a little bit more mean.
No, that one's like the Escalade. We got the Caravan.
Okay.
You need the Sherp though. Did you check out?
Oh,
yeah.
man. Yo, that thing was sick.
That
My kids
is
are like, take a
crazy.
picture in front of the tire. It's bigger than me. Yeah, that thing was
Yeah.
crazy. Did they have a price tag on it?
160,000.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Do you want a home or do you want this shirt?
Second,
He's like,
second
yeah,
mortgage.
it's a very unique customer for this thing. I was like, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're pretty popular though. We've seen them last 2-3 years out going up north to go moose hunting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in
Yeah,
your guys' area, they
we've
got
seen,
some?
No, not in our area, but we've seen some guys off the highway that are parking and going in.
Okay. Well, and they have a smaller one than the one I think was what he said. They have a little.
Okay, that
smaller
one was
version.
big.
Yeah, that's monster.
It was the Magnum. The Magnum.
Yeah, something. That thing was massive.
Yeah,
It's
they're pretty
beautiful.
cool. I mean, it's kind of like anything with Alaskan money.
Yeah.
I mean, you see guys driving around with $280,000 Kingfishers all over the place. So if
That's
a guy
true.
really wants a Sherp,
Yep.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know what the financing package is on one of
You
those.
have to sell a lot more bags.
You know, I'm just saying, I see a lot of guys with like really nice trucks and boats driving around, and they got a nice ass house up there too. I'm like, damn,
Can those things cross, like, I'm assuming they cross the river,
they can
right?
cross
yeah.
water.
You can go anywhere.
Do they get much, like,
Oh, I'm
drift,
sure.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they do. I imagine you probably got to be careful with that.
But those wheels are like propelling them too, because I saw them go through like a patch of water and ice, like just dip it in, and it kind of like
Just
propelled
chews
itself.
through.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
just kind
oh, and back up onto it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, I imagine like, what if you threw that thing in the current in the Sioux and we're churning and then, you're floating downriver now.
Yeah.
Like how it would be very challenging to get across, because once you got across, if it's a high bank, you're not getting up. You're going to keep popping down until you find a flat spot. So probably not suggested to cross moving rivers.
Yeah.
But lakes, ponds, swamps.
Yeah.
Perfect for that.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for what they should do with it. I don't know. He told us, he's like, yeah, you're in a spot you're not supposed to be when the airplanes and helicopters start coming over you. And I was like, okay. And he didn't want to elaborate too much more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As far as he was going with it. Who's selling those? Was there a dealer? Is there a dealer?
There's that one guy.
Honestly,
I don't know. He might have the rights or whatever.
Yeah, he came by the booth. We talked to him a bit. There was someone making a smaller version of it, and he kind of came up with the design. I wish I could remember his name now off the top of my head. I can't. But yeah, so he supersized it, and they came out with one, and then they're kind of taking off better than they anticipated, from what I understand.
All right. Well, I see Sherp of Alaska LLC. So where? Okay. So they're like an exclusive dealer of their own. Looks like. That's that video right there from shooting on the line.
Oh, man. Play that real quick.
That's Kenai Lake, isn't it? Is that Kenai Lake?
It is. There's the bridge right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sherp Icy River Drive.
Yep.
If you connect to the roadcaster, we can play the music.
Oh, through the Bluetooth?
Yeah. It's okay. We'll just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Kenai. That's when you're going south, the right side of the bridge. Okay, so I'm assuming he's going to go right into that thing. And that looks like that's the bigger one, too. It's long.
Mm-hmm. So go right in there.
Let's see.
It's
a little slowed down. Okay. I mean, how scary would that be?
Oh my gosh.
Terrifying.
He's
Yeah.
floating.
Yeah. Goes in a little sideways.
Yeah, the tippiness part would freak me out.
Boom. Breaks through. Going right over like those little like glaciers side to side.
It propels itself pretty good, really.
Let's see there. He's up on, like you said, a bank.
Oh,
I think.
climbs right up on
Climb
the
right
ice.
up on that ice. Oh, fully down. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it just floats though. Boy, it just climbs right up on the
Yeah, it
next
just
chunk
digs right up on that.
effortlessly.
Is he gonna get back up on it? Let's see.
Yeah, you just gotta float and then
Oh, keeps breaking. I'm sure eventually it's gonna go up there. Did you guys look did you get in there? How does it? It's obviously not like a steering wheel, right? Does it have is it like Argo style?
I actually didn't crawl in. It opens from the front like a front popping hatch.
Oh, okay.
Crawl in from the front, but I didn't see. But I don't think I saw a steering wheel either.
damned.
Yeah, looking at the video.
Yeah, it's
Oh, he's able to get back up on. Oh, he got back on.
Yeah.
man, that's incredible.
I mean, that thing can go anywhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've seen these before, but it's still amazing every time, isn't it?
Oh, like the back's popped open. The back window.
I think it'd take on water.
Yeah, there's we've had this discussion before, Daniel. There's that other brand. It's like the Fat Boy or Fat Tire or something. There's another brand. It's like a smaller version of it.
I mean, it gets submerged, but only like to halfway of the tires. Look how it's just sitting there floating.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Full reverse.
It's pretty cool, man. So you guys are saying that's not in the budget this year?
Well, I guess we could write it off, right? It's a
There
business
you go.
expense.
Yeah, throw
Write it off. We need it.
a sagebrush sticker on the back. It's like
Yeah, it's a
company
company
rig.
car.
Take that.
way cool.
Take that on the ferry to our trade shows in Southeast.
Yeah, there you go. You don't even need a ferry no more.
I know,
Just
we
load
can
that
just-
thing up and just hit it.
Cruise by the
Is it
ferries,
ocean
waving.
going? I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. That's pretty risque. If I go that far.
So you guys, I know I had another buddy. He was on the corner. He invented the handy bonk. I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys
Oh,
talked to
yeah.
him.
We talked
On
to
the
him. I
corner?
thought that was really cool.
Yeah, my buddy Roger. He's coming on the show in a couple weeks, so I don't want to talk too much about his product. But yeah, he said Friday was really good too, and he did really good at the Matsu one. You guys don't do the Matsu?
Not yet, but I mean,
We're
We're
It seems like they're like boom, 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 right?
yeah. I think there was a week in between this year, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up deciding to go for Fairbanks.
Maybe 2
instead.
weeks. Maybe 2 weeks in between, because it was our meat party weekend, and that was 3 weeks ago. Was the Matsu?
Yeah, it was the meat party.
Yeah, it'd be kind of tough.
They should time it where it's just like boom, boom, boom.
It would make it so
It
much
would be
better,
so
yeah.
nice.
'Cause then you
We
could
would
hit
do
all
it then,
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
we
stay
talked
here.
we talked with
Alpine Fit.
Alpine Fit today.
Yeah.
We were over there visiting them, and they said it was an awesome show for them too. So yeah, we're thinking, we better figure out.
Yeah,
a
they
way.
opted for that one instead of this one. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah.
They opted for the Matsu one.
yeah. They
over?
said it's run really well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And then they have a storefront in Anchorage, so I suppose that makes
Oh,
a bit of a
okay.
difference, too. So
yeah,
Yeah. How's the Fairbanks one go?
this is our first time. So,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we're excited to go there. It's
to
kinda
find
like
out.
our market for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it the same, like people managing those events, or they're separate
they're separate.
Separate,
Yeah, yeah.
separate things? Yeah.
The Anchorage show, is that like a panel of folks, or is there like?
The Anchorage show is what's the production company? There's one guy that kind of runs it, Steve. As far as I know, they just do that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
big thing. He must be doing well. I mean, what's it cost the family to go in there? $30.
It was like $11 a person or something.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's that much,
Jeez.
huh? And there's a lot
I
of
don't know, I
people
just
going.
swiped
in
my
there.
card and we all went in.
Yeah.
And my family was like, "Dad, we're bored now."
I know the kids did get kind of
Only
Stay.
bored.
halfway
Yeah.
through.
We gotta get.
We're
our
gonna
money's
leave.
worth.
Yeah.
My wife's truck happened to be downtown from the night before, so we're out. Okay,
Convenient.
works for me. Over to Humpy's for a burger and a beer after.
Nice, nice. Okay, so the Fairbanks one is this next weekend.
Yep, this coming weekend. Yep.
Okay, perfect. You guys have enough stuff?
We have some stuff. I mean, we don't.
Like,
We're
what
ha-
happens
we're
if you
happy.
sell out on this Anchorage one?
That's great.
Then that's it.
Yeah,
Like, you just
yeah,
go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take.
We
orders.
packed extra because we knew we were going to do another show. So,
Okay.
but this is our last, green gun bag. So, yeah.
We'll last
Oh,
a
that
lot
really?
of
Yeah.
Was that a hit?
We sold a lot of gun bags. Yeah, we
Yeah.
always do at this show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gun bags are popular everywhere. I mean, that's our number one selling bag for sure. So,
Yeah.
Oh, it is number one.
Yeah. That and then the large backpack too. They're neck and neck, but the last 2 years the gun bag's been the dominant one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. I mean, everything you do, whether it's boat, 4-wheeler, Argo, like I think up north, that Fairbanks, I think you guys are gonna be really popular up there.
Yeah, a lot of river activity.
Yeah, river duck hunting. You got a lot of guys that run airboats.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just a different group. We've got our saltwater folks that are down here, but up there are saltwater folks. They just have to travel a very long way. It's like Valdez, the closest coastal town to dunk a boat. But a lot of these guys are running airboats
Right on
and
the
jet
river, yeah.
boats all over up there. So the whole dry bag logic just goes hand in hand with anything related to boat.
Right. Because
Right? I mean, it's just,
to have an extra pair of clothes that's just safe and dry is huge.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And keeping your guns dry.
Absolutely.
That is so hard to do. I mean, I don't even know. Your guns get moisture on them. Like, it's like attracted to them.
No, and it's great. Like where we are, we can't hardly get it. We don't hike around to hunt. We take a boat somewhere in southeast and then go from there. Because hiking in the rainforest is not that fun. You can't get that
It's
far.
so
It's a
wet.
bushwhack too, constantly. So
Yeah.
we do a lot of getting out to where we're going by boat.
Yeah.
And just it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, even your stainless guns get rusty where we're at. It's crazy.
Oh, sure. Because it's just so damn wet.
Yeah.
I went on a wet deer hunt this year, and I kept my gun in the bag, and I drug it up about a quarter of a mile, marked it. I had bushwhacked, and it was like pissing rain, and if you're knocking around wet brush and it's falling on you, I mean, you just get really, really wet, right? Got through that, then unzipped my gun, put it on my pack. And when
Kept
it
going.
cleared out, I'm like, all right, cool. This at least gives me a
Above the
head
tree
start
line,
of a
kinda.
lesser wet.
Right. And you don't
Rifle.
need to access it in the bush.
No, I wasn't gonna. And I was like, "There's a deer happens to be over there. Somebody else shoot it. I'm good. I'm gonna keep my gun dry, man."
Right on.
Yeah, it was really worked out well. I actually, I actually for fun, not in the salt, but I did in a lake. I threw it in the water, all zipped up nice, and I was like, it does float. I had a tether. Yeah. I had a tether on it just in case. I was like, these things float. I'm 99.9% sure, like actually 100% sure, but just in case. And
I've had a customer sent us picture or video of them like paddling their pack raft and dragging it behind just because they had loaded up their pack raft already.
Right.
So,
it's dragging it. That's a good one.
Nice.
Way cooler test than what I did.
Yeah. I don't know if I would recommend that either, but
no.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Welcome to Alaska Wall Project episode 113. Today we have John and Greta Peterka. Say that right?
John Peterka Greta Healy.
Yep. Oh, okay.
We're just business partners.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Oh, really? I had you guys as a married couple.
Yeah,
No.
everyone does. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on.
Okay.
Right on.
Learned something new today.
Yeah, of Sagebrush Dry Gear.
Correct.
Yes, perfect. So I was reading that originally the business was out of Bozeman?
Dylan.
Out of Dylan?
Montana.
Okay.
Montana.
Yep.
You're from Bozeman originally.
I moved here from Bozeman, to
Moved here
Alaska,
from
yeah.
Bozeman.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in North Dakota, actually, but I was living in Bozeman before I came to Alaska. That's the progression, right? Montana is like when you're in the lower 48, that's great
wild.
outdoors. Yeah, wild. And then you're like, okay, there's a lot of people moving in here all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What's next? Alaska.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is a progression.
It is.
There's a lot of people. It's Montana, Alaska. It's
Yeah,
a lot of
Minnesota,
connection.
Wisconsin,
for
all
sure.
that.
Yep. No doubt. You mentioned I was reading your info on the website, and you had worked for several outdoor businesses in Bozeman.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of see Bozeman as like a mecca.
It is, and it's been more now since I left.
It was like Sitka and Sims and First Light,
Mystery
Ranch. Like there's all these big, prominent outdoor companies that are out of there. Did you work for any of them big boys, or where were you kind of?
I was working. My partner worked for many years with Mystery Ranch.
Okay.
I was a business partner at the time, and so I got in. I was working for a company called Buck Products when I started, and that's where we connected. She was doing contract sewing, and we kind of started off our own little thing from there and started doing contract work for this pack company, Buck Products. But we were doing also contracting for like Mystery Ranch through that. That was more her gig, but I was still involved in the shop. And then just through our contacts with them and, just that industry, people are everywhere. Kind of the guys that I really looked up to, I guess, Richard Siberl, who worked with Patagonia for many years as a designer. He worked with everybody. He is the one that kind of told us about this friends of his in Alaska that had the business that they're trying to sell. And I knew about Sagebrush because it was from Montana and it was had this history of just bulletproof stuff, these people and their story. It was just cool, a cool history, so yeah.
Like there was a legacy behind it.
Oh yeah. So the folks that Robbie and Elaine Garrett, who I bought the business from, they did all Patagonia's contract work for their luggage lines and some of their dry gear for 15 years in Dillon. That's how it happened. So they had 35 employees in a contract facility there, and the Patagonia outlet was actually connected into their building. So it was just all this big Patagonia deal. And then when Patagonia decided to start manufacturing offshore, they kind of lost their contracts, and they're just it's time. So they decided
they had been to Southeast on a bunch of kayaking trips, and so they knew that they wanted to end up in this area, Southeast. And then they kind of narrowed it down to Kake. Yeah, they
had been to Kake or whatever.
That's a real narrow down.
They had Haynes and Kake on their list, and then they're like, no, we're going. The thing was, their criteria was they wanted to go somewhere where there would never be a stoplight. So
okay.
So Kake, there's never going to be.
Can you pull up that map, Alaska map? I want to see exactly where Kake is at. I've actually been to in my years teaching to conferences, and there's always a group from Kake that came up with the after school program stuff I was running, And I want to say they like had a really awesome like Lego robotics team. So they were always doing like the coolest like technology stuff. Like they were super into like Lego robotics and all these crazy like field trips where they would take the kids on like these virtual tours and all this stuff. And it just made sense because they're so isolated, as we can see now on the map. Oh, so Kake is part of the Kupernoff Island.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty big.
Yeah, we're kind of Petersburg's across the way over on.
That's like the closest southeast.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Sitka's about 55 miles
west.
Yeah, as west as the crow flies.
Okay, there's
So
Sitka.
we're kind of right in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then where we got Petersburg is somewhere close, or Petersburg there.
Yep.
My bad, Wrangell. Wrangell's right there. Okay, Prince of Wales.
Yep.
So
right.
right in
there.
Inside Passage. Rocky Pass is right below us, just like this really amazing like hunting, kayaking passage. That little skinny passage all the way down through Kupernoff.
Yeah.
That's like
right there?
That's our playground. Yeah.
Okay.
And then QU. So lots of deer, lots of black bears.
Lots of black bears, moose. Yeah,
Wolves.
we have moose on the island.
Moose on the island?
Yep.
I
We have a
didn't know
lot
that.
smaller moose. Like it's funny, the moose have kind of the paddles on moose there have adapted like because of the
because of how
they're really small. And there's actually some like conversation about that now because of the way that the regs are on moose hunting, because it's hard to find a legal moose other than like a spike on the island because
they've adapted.
You don't get a big 60-incher around there at all.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Even if they're mature aged, they're
you find them, but they're rare. It's just it seems like they've adapted. Plus, the only thing we've been able to go after is the big ones, so they're not getting super big either. There's a lot of moose. Like last year, we had 64, I think, moose harvested on the island.
Wow.
So, and we get a lot of people like Sitka and Petersburg coming in on boats and hunting too.
That want to get after a moose.
Yeah.
And then a lot of locals. We've got a lot of logging roads. We have like 200 miles, 300.
Okay.
200,
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, and there's just like great hunting driving the logging roads. So people will go out. Yeah.
And that's right out of Kake, or
Right out of Kake, yeah.
Okay.
Right out of Kake.
Is there moose on the other surrounding islands?
There's moose on QU, I know for sure, but that's all I know for sure.
Because I don't think there's on Baranoff,
And
right?
there's not, I don't think there are any on Prince of Wales either.
No, or Admiralty.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Are
They were-
they considered like the same like species as the other Alaska moose, or are they more like the Shiras style?
No, as far as I know, they're the same. But what I've heard is that they were introduced to the island. It's not a native.
Okay.
That
There's like
makes sense.
Yeah, like a lot of the native guys on the village or like in the village are like, oh, they won't even hunt moose because it's just not like a traditional food. So
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I wondered that. I'm like, they didn't swim over. They weren't there when it broke apart. Kind of like if you look at like the Kodiak brown bear, or the brown bear on Hitchenbrook and Montague, like they inhabited it and were on it when it like disconnected, and then it.
Wouldn't they
able to
feeding on
adapt.
different stuff too?
Yeah, didn't they plant like a whole along the roadside? Didn't someone say they planted, I don't know,
yeah, it's
Willows.
some
Willows,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, they planted willows like all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's their favorite food source.
Yeah.
Because you don't see much willows when you get deep in those forests.
No.
It's so like
Rainforest? No way.
No.
it's all along the logging roads. It seems like they took
Yeah.
the path of least resistance when they
Yeah.
planted too. So which is now they're all overgrown but
Yeah.
that's where the moose
Yep.
are walking, like right down those overgrown.
Oh, I bet.
Oh,
There's
that's crazy.
wolves out there too?
There are wolves. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so the predatory angle is going to regulate the moose.
Regulates
Big time.
moose. They really it shows on the deer a lot. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. But there's been a pretty active effort. Like there's a trapper on the island who's really been hitting it hard, and
Okay.
it seems like the deer population has really increased in the last few years. So.
Oh, the wolves were put the beat down on them pretty hard.
Yep. And then we had some mild winters, and it seemed like the mild winters was actually harder on because I think the wolves were more active actually. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
totally. Well, in the moose, I would think the lifestyle for a moose on that island versus say on the mainland, where they're tromping around in 6-7 feet of snow trying to find food versus out there. where there's, I mean, you get snow, but it probably doesn't get super deep, right?
Not super deep, and you get a lot of snow and then rain and then slop and then snow
Melts
again.
it.
So you're kind of getting a lot of back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. Does Kake itself have like massive amounts of snow that has to be removed or pushed around with loaders or anything like that, or is it just
No.
sloppy, wet, slushy kind of winter all the time?
Yeah, I mean, in the last 2 years, we've had more snow than my previous 4. But there's been some winters where you get 3 inches and then 5 days later it's gone, and then you get another 3. But this year we had snow that stuck.
It was
around.
late. Yeah, it was like February. Yeah,
we got a lot of snow around Thanksgiving and early December, and then we left at Christmas time, and we came back and we're like, oh my God. I was in North Dakota where it was blizzards and
freezing ass cold.
Yeah. I got back and I was like, why was I in North Dakota? You know, it was like, it felt like spring. Yeah. It was, and then we got a
but then it
blast
snowed
of
more.
snow,
Yeah. Sure.
And it stuck just until recently, but
And it's probably heavier than
Oh my
crap
gosh.
too. It's wet.
yeah, and you got to get out and shovel it right away
because
it
it'll
gets
melt
so
slow and then
heavy.
just ices up. Like all of town, I feel like it's just like the winter is just like everything's iced over all the time. It's just
Like
melting.
you guys
and
have this
freezing.
nice white snow. Ours turns into this brown, sloppy snow.
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
And we have the gray skies all winter too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's the rainforest winter.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it is different. Like I've frequented like Juneau, Ketchikan some in the winter.
Yep.
Go there in the summer, epic.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Been to Craig, like, oh man, amazing area. But in the winter, the locals are like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
all the
Juneau
time.
gets a ton of snow, and I think it sticks around longer. It's just like
Yeah.
everything south of Juneau just tends to.
Yeah, because it's a little
Yeah.
further north anyway.
Yeah.
What about we've been hearing things of like whitetail making their way up, lions making their way up.
Oh.
Any word on that?
I've heard people. I've heard people say that they think there's some kind of like bobcats or something around in Kake, but there's also rumors of elk and brown bear, but I've never seen them. I've seen a game cam of a bear that really looked like a brown bear, but never any other proof than that. I've seen scat that definitely I thought was elk.
Oh,
But I don't know where they'd, be coming from or how that would be there. But
Where's the
They have to
nearest
swim,
place where
wouldn't
their elk be?
over by Wrangell.
Okay. Yeah, down that way.
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of exciting, though.
Yeah, it's cool.
It would be
Yeah.
sweet.
More exciting about the elk than the brown bear. But
yeah, definitely. I mean, I could see the brown bear crossing the sound and like swimming across and maybe
yeah,
coming
because the
over.
brown bear on Admiralty, Chichikov, and Baranoff, which is all
But
around.
Frederick Sound is like 6 miles, 8 miles, so that'd be a pretty big go for a bear, huh?
They do it though.
That's crazy.
They swim across.
I've seen some deer swimming some
yeah.
long distances.
Yeah,
It's
see him in the. You'll see him actually in the boat.
Oh yeah,
See him
Yeah.
We were going one time. We had done a camp out, and we're coming back in the morning. Like, what is that? Getting closer and closer, and from a little island that I never would have even thought to go look for deer on, but it was just going back to Kupernoff. It was probably a couple mile haul for it, and it was going, and it was crazy. We stopped and watched it the whole way, and it got to land, and it didn't like stop and catch its breath. It just started eating. It was, I mean,
recharge.
just immediately.
Just took one.
Yeah,
Okay, now.
Yeah.
That's so funny, man.
Because I know I would have been like collapsed on the side,
So real quick before we get any further, I wanted to Greta. So what is your background?
Yeah, I'm from
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah. I ended up I moved to Sitka right after college in
Okay.
2015, so it's almost been 8 years. And I lived in Sitka for 6 years and did so many jobs. And then kind of towards the end of my time in Sitka, I taught myself how to sew and started my own small business and was kind of looking for more sewing experience and ended up buying a boat over in Petersburg and was passing through Kake or past Kake to get back to Sitka. I had met John at a trade show and just asked if I could swing by and see the shop. I had reached out to him before. My mom was on the boat, also all of my friends, and we did a tour of the shop, and I just kind of knew that I wanted to work
You're like, yo, John, I need to work here, man.
Yeah.
Well,
And you're like, I need your help.
Yeah.
She reached out and I was like, yeah, I mean, I would love to have help, but there's no housing in Kake. Like, it's super small town, you know. And she's like, well, that's cool. I'm just picking up my boat. I'm gonna live on my boat. And I was like, wow, this is.
Oh, you had like a boat you could live on.
Yeah, I got a sailboat. I mean, I had a sailboat before, but I had gotten a new sailboat. So
that's
rad.
Yeah. Yep. And then just kind of I made it back to Sitka. Yeah, I made it back to Sitka and then packed up all my stuff and then moved to Kake like a month later.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of ready to like focus in on something and learn more about the trade and I mean, I had my own like little art studio that I shared with a bunch of friends, and my little corner was just like my sewing machine, and then all of my other friends were like painters and graphic designers, and so I got to the shop and I was like, this is my art studio on crack. Like I was like, this is like everything I would want. So it was an easy decision. Yeah.
You still living on the boat?
I still live on the boat. Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
Really?
I use the shop a lot.
She's hardcore.
Yeah.
Grab a shower once in a while.
Yeah, laundry. But I love it. Yep. So
What a dope Alaskan lifestyle you're living. I mean, that's just, you don't just live in like the single family home with the white picket fence and a driveway. Like, nah, I'm gonna slip over in D9.
Pretty much how it goes. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and like next when we return, we're doing like some boat pop-ups now. We're gonna take her boat over to Petersburg for their May festival. They have this Norwegian May Fest, and it's a big street fair and the whole work. So we have some friends flying into Kake, and we're gonna
make a trip of it. Yeah.
Sail trip and do a pop-up sail there.
Yeah.
And just kind of.
I have an idea. Jack had mentioned this before when we knew you guys were going to come, and it kind of got canceled and all that. So next year when we have the meat party, we'll set up a pop-up at Double Shovel, so it's worth it for you guys to come for the pop-up and then the meat party.
We're in. That's our favorite way to do shows. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That way there's a little maybe revenue in it for you to pay for the cost of the trip at least.
Or just at least have some cider.
That too, man. That would be big too, and we'll promote the shit out of it beforehand.
Let's for sure do it.
Okay,
we do pop up. We in Sitka. That's kind of like our home away from home. We have such awesome customers in Sitka, and just like
friends,
a lot of people hunting from skiffs. You know, that's all. Sitka has very little road access. So everybody's getting out in a boat, and we sell so many bags to those guys. But we have a good relationship. My buddy, I can't even remember his name. Zach has the brewery in Harbor Mountain Brewery in Sitka, and we do pop-ups there, and it's just so awesome. And it's just like, it's just nice to have a couple beers in your customers.
Yeah, we just like hang out and talk with people, and then people come up to them like, can we buy a bag?
You really need this bag. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I'm drinking beer and eating
pizza,
gourmet pizza.
That's perfect.
You're enjoying like your three favorite things.
Yeah, exactly. And then people are handing me money for these bags.
Yeah, that's great. Sitka's great. I've been to Sitka lots of times. They used to fly us down there to do shows, and I went on a pretty terrible deer hunt one time down there. But my buddy's down there, and actually AKO Farms, one of our sponsors.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Justin and my buddy Sydney, and so it's a cool little town over there. I like Sitka when it's nice. Yeah. When it's shitty, it's shit good. It's not good.
Yeah.
But when it's beautiful, holy. Yeah.
Well, we haven't figured out yet, year 2 with Alaska Wild Project to get a little bit more integrated, like regionally. We're obviously in South Central Alaska and Anchorage, biggest market. Southeast is such a really cool, unique region of our state. Yeah. And, we've got interior Fairbanks and very little up north. But the Southeast angle is something that, we'd love to, I don't want to use the word capitalize on it. It's not like a business type thing. It's more or less just getting our faces and name into the Southeast world and realm.
Yeah, we need to do a
like
pop-up
a traveling
down there.
show.
We'd love to do like a
combined.
boom, 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 boom. Like start south and work our way up or something.
Yeah, we could. You guys, we'll do a pop up here, and then when you guys come down, we'll do one at Harbor Mountain.
Yeah, we'll bring you guys to Cake. You can do it. Yeah, you can do a show on Cake.
Cake might not be the best expo. I mean, there's 500 people in Cake, so it's
it's pretty small.
It's tiny.
Oh, scroll back. How far from there is Ketchikan? Do you guys know Jeff Lund, who does?
I've done.
Oh, you did Jeff's show?
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
so,
perfect. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, which is funny when you're listening to the podcast. You're like, oh, there's so many like interconnected people.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's actually quite a ways there.
So there's Cake, and then there's Ketchikan.
But that could be part of the deal. We'll hit like Sitka, we'll do Juneau,
You could do a
Sitka,
ferry
Cake.
tour. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's
a great idea.
That's the best way to go.
That's the easiest way because we could bring a truck
Yep.
and with all of our shit, and then we could just.
It might have to be like a 2-month trip, but yeah.
Yeah. Hey, honey.
You guys all want to go to Southeast for like the whole summer, basically?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of like the poor man's cruise. You know, it's really
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of Alaskans that do that because it's like probably the best way to go visit all those places.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, we could maybe, realistically, we could do like a couple communities one summer. And then the next summer, hit a few more and, build up to it. I just have this love affair with the idea of getting more integrated. Daniel's got a pretty good footprint in the Southeast with Sitka, Ketchikan, with the hip-hop angle from the back in the day. And I've traveled through there for work years ago. And I just, everywhere, Sitka, Ketchikan, Juneau. Like I said, I got to go to Craig, been to Wrangell, Petersburg, all of them. Yeah. So cool, man. Yeah. The Southeast thing is dope.
It's so cool, and it's like each community, each area is its like own little subsect, or like it's even a different climate, and it's just unique. It's very unique.
I thought it was all the same, and it's not.
No. It's very different.
Oh man, and I did the milk run one time.
Oh yeah.
I only did it
that is
once.
not the way you want to tour Southeast.
No, Seattle, Anchorage, 12 hours.
No, but I did the what did I do? I was going to Ketchikan. So did I stop in Wrangell? Was my last stop?
Petersburg, Wrangell, Ketchikan.
Yeah, and then the pilot in the 737 stayed low, and he was banking it through the mountains. And he was flying like in all the valleys and canyons and stuff. And I'll never forget it, man. I was like, man, we're like Super Cub flying this big ass plane. But he's just staying tight in the mountains and swooping in there. And I had the most fun on that. That milk run was worth that last
little
stretch,
20 minutes or whatever it was, where we banked through there. And it was a gorgeous bluebird day, not a cloud in the sky. So you could see the rainforest below and flying through there, man. And
it's beautiful.
Fell in love with it.
Yeah.
We had a beautiful flight. Like when we fly out, we have to fly Alaska seaplanes, a small like
Beavers,
6-seater,
yeah. So we're flying that to Juneau, and then from Juneau we kind of gather ourselves and then.
Oh, you go Cake to Juneau in like a beaver and then jump on
they're not. Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow,
it's not a beaver.
It's not a beaver. It's it lands on a
Polaris. I think Polaris is bigger than what we
Pilatus.
Yeah.
I was thinking of I took like a beaver from Ketchikan to Craig.
Okay.
Where we were like super low.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an adventure. I mean, and you get a lot of like not nice days flying. I
only fly on the nice days. Yeah.
Greta definitely is not a good. Not a fan
I have a window of when I'll travel. Yeah.
Oh, she likes to be on that boat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like to be on the water.
Which is sometimes way more scary.
Totally. Probably gets wicked up in some of those straits in there.
Oh yeah, and she always wants to have the sail full sail. And
She's just tilted like this.
Hardcore.
Oh, that's funny. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back and get into some of these gears.
Right on.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska. tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney's Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaska public lands, waters, and wildlife. From national level policy work to engagement with boots on the ground projects from Kotzebue to Ketchikan, BHA performs public land cleanups, hunting and fishing clinics, and community education to help take your game to the next level. BHA's community-minded goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping wildlands wild and fostering the next generation of sportsmen and women for years to come. Make sure to follow BHA Alaska for upcoming events, local brewery pint nights, and more. Stand up for Alaska public lands and waters by supporting the Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Join us today at backcountryhunters.org.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day, because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store. How much rain is a lot?
10 feet a year.
10 feet?
Yeah, we measure in feet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's why we got good at making dry bags.
Oh, the rain volume.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. Yeah, so actually Robbie and Elaine, who founded the business, were doing all this kayaking around Southeast, and they're just like, they weren't finding any gear that really held up to the rain and just everything, you know. And so they just started building their own. And that's like this bag would be, you know, one of their kayak bags that they came up with. And we make some really cool like directional bags.
Yeah, I saw those ones that were like kind of like triangle style.
Yeah,
that's for the
front of the kayak,
a nose bag, and then the midship, and just maximize your space in that boat. They also add flotation once you close them up, so because it's buoyancy.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
So this is kind of like a flagship initial design. This one here?
No, I wouldn't say that. But more like flagship into the kayak side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Was there like a bag that started it all?
The bag that started it all was actually like the first Patagonia waterproof bag. Like Elaine was
like the black hole design?
Yeah, well, not the black hole. What was it called? It's more of the backpack. I can't remember what it's called. A pod or something. I can't.
So backpack straps.
It's just a little back. It's just a tiny little backpack. You know, they still make
I think Jack has it.
Of it.
I think Jack has it. It's his day. It's like a bag he uses daily.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like a backpack with a little flap top.
Well, this is a zipper one, but the story goes, I guess, like Robbie and Elaine they had got like a hot air welding machine, and nobody was really using them for that quite application yet.
Hot air welding machine?
Correct.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So the hot air welding machine, and I think I linked you guys in on Instagram where we were doing some hot air welding. So it's like,
okay,
I'm using 785 degree hot air that's coming through a nozzle and basically directing it to between two pieces of fabric, and then it's getting rolled through and thermal bonded with that hot air. So yeah, even the second one in from the forklift.
Yeah, I've got it playing. Our Wi-Fi sometimes gets a little delayed here. But continue with your explanation.
Yeah, so it's just you're using this heat so we have a polyurethane coating on the fabric, so that's what's bonding. So you're heating up that polyurethane, and then it's just forming a thermal bond with each other.
There we go.
So there you can see.
Clunking along there.
So there's just two wheels that nozzle comes in, and those wheels are basically, after the heat hits it, they're basically rolling it and kind of solidifying that seam.
You gotta be pretty brave to get your damn fingertips so close to that rolling wheel.
He's got hot hands.
Yeah, well,
call those mom hands.
And you can probably, if you look, you can see the blisters on my fingers.
Yeah.
When I bought the business, the gift from Elaine, who was the hot air master at the business, was an aloe vera plant. She's like, you're going to need this.
Yeah. Just break it off and soothe it.
Yeah. But now it's not so bad anymore. Only when I'm doing
just because it's numb and calloused so thick that
a little bit of that, and I've actually gotten a little bit,
little bit from last
week. Yeah, there's lots. There's a good scar. I did a bad job there.
Yeah.
It's usually when I'm doing like new tweaky stuff and I haven't figured out a system yet, and then like
it gets awkward and you get hurt,
and then you like panic and I'm using my foot for all the controls of the nozzle and the wheels and everything.
You're sitting there and you're kind of controlling.
Kind of see the foot pedals in the room.
Yeah,
I kind of see that. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so it's you're using everything: 2 hands, your feet, and
What if you mess up? Can you back it up? No, it's done.
That's why this
You'll bring out his anxiety.
That's why this beard hair is turning gray.
Yeah, you see, I've had a lot of mess ups too.
Yeah. So that's the thing. If you mess up, you're just dragging a 785 degree nozzle across this super expensive fabric, and so we do have like a scratch and dent bin that we.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Village specials.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
now, what is the material?
The material we're using is a 400 denier nylon pack cloth, common backpack material. But then we're having it kind of a special recipe we have made for by a company in Massachusetts. It's getting a really heavy duty polyurethane scrim coating. And then we have an embossing process done to it. We have UV inhibitors put into the fabric to keep the sun from cracking, fading and deteriorating. That UV inhibitor also helps with cold weather, so it's not going to crack and break as well.
Oh, okay.
So
it get all brittle.
It gives it some more elasticity.
Yeah.
And all the fabric's all made in the U.S. and just we're spending a pile on the fabric, and that's kind of one of the main things that separates us. We're using just this amazing fabric. It's not like your other your waterproof gear bags. It feels like fabric. It has a form of an actual backpack. It's not this boxy square thing.
It's more you can.
It's pliable.
Pliable, thank you. Yeah. That's the word. Yeah, it's not so stiff and just I have a Gauge dry bag, the backpack.
Yep.
I love it. It's been a great bag. It's got blown out holes in the corners now, so it's not waterproof anymore. It's just
send it over. I'll
kind
fix
it. Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, no shit.
I'll fix other people's stuff. I don't like things getting thrown away. So.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I mean it's been through so much and hell and back a million times. It's definitely not getting thrown away, but it's not truly waterproof anymore. If it fell out of the boat, it would be compromised. But what I was going to say about it is that the material is so thick. This is thin. When I take a gun out of that gun scabbard and I stuff all my scabbards in between my safe and a freezer in my garage, and they all kind of pile in there. Well, this one, when I put it in there, I had it zipped up, and I was like, God damn it. It wouldn't fit in there. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, man, unzip it, bro. Yeah. So I unzip it, let the air out, and let it deflate. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit, this is cool because I have another one that's the same, what's that?
PVC.
Yeah, that thick rubber material that's not as... Pliable, right?
There you go.
And,
we'll help you through this, Brandon.
I know, thanks, guys. No, I like how it can squish down and compact, and it seems as rigid and strong, but it's thinner.
Yeah, and that's so we're using a lot lighter fabric than a lot of other guys are doing, but we go heavy on the polyurethane coating, which if you're using heavy fabric and you get through that scrim, it doesn't matter how heavy the fabric is, it's still not waterproof.
Yeah.
So we go lighter on the fabric, heavier on the scrim coating. The embossing really helps a lot for abrasion resistance. If you compare our bags to a lot of the other ones, we're about half the weight for
way lighter.
Comparable size.
Oh,
bag.
big time.
Yeah,
I like that part of it.
Yeah, I was noticing because I have one of Nomar's, Nomar's scabbards.
Cool company,
And theirs is obviously different, and theirs is like that thicker material.
And I think they're using some more vinyl type stuff in their things, but they make a really awesome product. Their stuff. They make so
impressed
many
by
things.
Nomar.
They got some cool stuff.
Yeah. We went to Homer last time after this show, just to do like a quick pop up, and to take a road trip. And we popped in, and it was just so shocking because we I guess we're 3 people at our shop now. We have a 4th, but like keeping up with our inventory is like difficult, and they've got a whole freaking store with
they're in so many different
clothes,
lanes,
bags,
their fleeces. Cool. Like I have these pair of pants of theirs I've had for 18 years.
Their fleece is so good.
The fleece with like the waterproof wear in the knees and on the butt and all that. It's and obviously it's good for life, but I haven't had to take it back. I'm trying. I need to put a hole in these things.
I think that's something that Alaskan manufacturers realize too, is like making something and saying it's for life here means a lot different than if you're making it down south.
100%.
This is the testing grounds. Like people are going to abuse the crap out of your stuff here.
Yeah. I was telling you at the show, I had hung up my scabbard a couple times and thought it ripped. Like you hear the sound oh shit. Go look, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get some tenacious tape out and have to patch it up temporarily, and I'm like, just scuffed it. Didn't rip it. It happened 2 or 3 times. It didn't tear, and I was like, okay, it's thin, but it's actually really strong. So I can say I proven it. Other cheaper bag would have ripped for sure.
Yeah,
a thinner, cheaper bag for sure.
What's the sorry, go ahead.
No.
What's the the name is very original. What is the the meaning or the background from the name?
Well, back when they were doing all this work for Patagonia, they were known as Sagebrush Sewing, and they were in Dillon, Montana, where it was sagebrush everywhere. And Elaine came up with the name, and it was just, sagebrush is this resilient bush that you pretty much can't kill. It grows in the rocks, and it's just tough, and and so that was it was Sagebrush Sewing. It works at the time, and then as they evolved into just waterproof gear, it was Sagebrush Dry Goods at one time, and then kind of just ended up being shortened up to Sagebrush Dry. And it's funny because we get all these people like, You're in Alaska. Is there even sagebrush in Alaska?
Yeah.
And it's funny because we're sitting on Kupernoff Island looking across at Kuyu Island, and then there's all these other people making gear and naming them after stuff that's around
all
us.
around you guys.
We're calling ours sagebrush. So it's kind of this funny switch.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. What's the how many different products do you guys have now, would you say?
I think there's 14.
Yeah, 15.
Right now.
14 or 15?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we have some secret menu products too, like this, these double waterproof backpacks that we don't advertise on the website, and they're kind of more just.
Oh, for see them in person and get them.
Yeah,
what'd you call it? Double
this
waterproof.
Is a double waterproof. Yeah. So this isn't our standard large day pack on the website. This has this T-zip pocket and stuff. So it's just a little special for Southeast Alaska. We were doing a lot of these for the Forest Service guys, and they're they started calling them the Tongass Special, for the rainforest, and they are, because out there it's just anything that's gonna get wet is gonna. So this is just absolutely 100% submersible bag.
Yeah. Now talk to me about zippers. Obviously it's highly important with what you guys got going on, and I see you have different style of zippers. Maybe just kind of inform the audience on the different types of zippers and why you chose the ones that you guys have.
Yeah, well, the main zipper that we're using, the main waterproof zipper that we use is T-Zip. That's a German-made zipper, which we have a really good relationship with these guys. They're we think they're making the best waterproof zippers out on the market. They're manufacturing mostly for dive suit industry, dry suit, wetsuits. They're getting put into a lot of bags also, but just bomb-proof stuff. They're making them, it's these crazy German guys that are making just good stuff, engineering. And
Alpaca Raft uses them too, yeah.
Yeah, Alpaca Raft puts them in their rafts. And
obviously there's different sizes of the teeth and thicknesses and stuff like that?
So we're mostly using the Master Seal 10, which is kind of the burliest zipper. Like in these packs, like this is just a splash-proof YKK zipper. So that's not a submersible pocket there. It's just more splash-proof.
Got it.
Beat off rain, where the main compartment is totally waterproof. So that's what we did differently on this one. We had a splash-proof pocket, and then this one we just kind of upgraded the pocket.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And then you had mentioned before the show a lot of the main things that you guys see when people are like coming for a warranty, and for people listening, obviously it's a lifetime warranty, is taking care of the zippers. Correct. And I noticed when I opened all you guys' bag, inside of the bag, actually maybe we can pull one out, is a type of what is this here? It's like a lubricant for the bag.
And that's supplied to us from T-Zip, and we supply that to the customer for the life of the bag too. So if
you need more,
whenever you need more, we supply it. And like
we like when people use it.
Yeah, we promote. We want you to use that.
Okay,
the
so
bag will last forever if you use.
We have bags.
We have bags that are 25 years old
that we bring to every show. They're like how we transport all of our bags here. And they've got the original zippers in them. We just lubricated them right before we came up, and they're solid.
And that is like it's with anything. It's your highest used thing, and your wear point. So if we do have failure on a bag, it tends to be a zipper. But we cut them out, we weld in a new one, and we replace it. So we get them going out. So you're not having to be just totally.
We just got a sweet bag. I guess it was back in December that came back for repair, and it was this guy up in Haines, I think, who the bag came back, and we were looking at it, and I guess it had been repaired before, but it had been attacked by a bear, and so it had a claw mark, and so there were these 5 patches in the shape of a claw on the side of the bag, and we were like, of course we'll repair any bag, but we were like, this bag is really badass.
You almost want to keep it and send them a new one.
Exactly.
We're gonna hang this one up.
I asked Elaine, I was like, do you remember this bag? She's like, oh my god, I remember that guy. I patched it for him, because it was from a while ago, and and he's like, if you could fix the zipper, man, it has a lot of sentimental value. It got attacked by a bear. He was telling us how he is like across the lake and watched it all happen, like as the bear came into camp, and he just,
he had to scramble back over there.
Yeah, he's hollering at it, and the bear wouldn't go away, and then the food got, his whatever he had in the bag got totally trashed, and just a good story.
Sure.
So the bag is still in use, even
we
after
actually
a bear attack.
we went to Haines last year to do a little pop-up after Christmas, and not only did we hear that story, but we had heard, so there's this woman, I think a while ago, who lost her bag. Her boat capsized somewhere in Southeast, I forget where, somewhere near Haines, and her boat capsized. She had a sagebrush bag. She just assumed it was like lost. She was safe and everyone was safe, but her bag just like disappeared and then was found, John, chime in here, 100 miles away?
Well, no. 28 miles. She actually sent a picture with like the path that she assumed the bag had went on.
So just floated on with the tide.
Yep. And then like 5 days later, she got a phone call because she had like Sharpied on the bag her address and phone number and stuff. And
smart of her.
This commercial fisherman had found it in a kelp patch. Yeah, like I said, 28 miles away from where the capsize was. And
so we had gotten an email about that a long time ago, and the really cool story with the map and everything. And then we're in Haines doing this pop-up, and we're, at a brewery drinking beers with some, locals. And all of a sudden this guy comes up and he's like, yeah, man, I found this bag one time. He was like, I saw it on the beach. He was like, I was in my boat, and he was like, I didn't know if it was a person. I didn't know the story. He couldn't tell.
I want to go check it out.
So I think
he had been at the brewery for a while.
Yeah.
He said
I'm like, what are the details here? I think he swam to shore.
Well, he said he put on his emergency suit and then swam to shore and got the bag.
To go get the bag?
Yeah, and then realized it was a sagebrush bag, and like.
But then he said he was like searching around on the beach. He's like looking for
someone around their camp or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "There's no tracks. There's no nothing." It's like, so I took it back, and then I found they had their name in it. He's like, "I thought I scored it."
Yeah.
He couldn't keep it consciously.
He
didn't have a call the person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But she said she got the bag back and everything was dry inside. She even ate the Cliff Bar that was in there. So
that's funny.
That zipper was tight.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often should you lubricate the zipper?
It really depends on use, but like once you get it and lubricate it, you'll kind of notice right away how much easier it pulls. And then we just tell people like whenever it's
it's getting tight,
getting tighter. If you're putting, if you're using it a lot seasonally, just make sure you lube it up.
I do mine like once a month, and I use my bag daily. So yeah, it kind of depends. Yeah,
that's a good gauge.
I also have access to infinite lube, so I'm just like, why not?
That's true. I actually stashed mine in a little cup on my workbench.
Sweet.
So I know where it is every single time. Cool. So I'm like, oh, there's my fucking zippers thing, and it's all stiff. Because I did use it. I lubed it up the first time, and then it got really, really wet on a trip. And then I noticed when I went to go take it out, I like put my gun in there, and I'm like, oh, I feel like it should get a little re-up.
Yep.
Like the water, like it dissipates the moisture, but it's still it's gonna wash it off. I mean, at some point, right?
Yeah, and you can't overlube them. So I mean,
I years and years ago, I've been rafting for years, and I bought a watershed bag, and it just came with a little like squeezable packet that I lubed up one, and it ran out. And so this, I like after years and years, I was like, oh, what can I use for something else? Is there like a homemade something that's like, if you're in a pinch and you can't get that? I mean, I want to say I use Vaseline.
Yeah, chapstick, Vaseline.
Okay.
And any dive suit wax.
Beeswax.
Petroleum jelly of some sort.
Yeah. Okay, I was worried about. I was like, is this gonna like eat it up or something? I mean, it seemed to work really good, but I was like dipping in my kids like. I was like, oh, I can use this. That's funny.
Have you guys dabbled around with the idea of making rain gear?
Funny, it's in the car. Yeah.
Got a prototype?
Yeah.
We do have a prototype. Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
Sure.
You want to go grab it?
Can.
Okay, we'll get it on the next break.
Yeah. I was just checking out your photos on Instagram, and I might have jumped a little ahead with our agenda, but I was just looking at like bags and gear and like rafts, and I'm like, wait a minute, this stuff's pretty like light and thin.
Yep.
And we're actually working with like even a lighter fabric for the rain gear that we're kind of toying around with. I've been testing some. We've got a half a dozen pair out being used for about the last year, and just seeing how well they hold up.
Okay.
Putting them in hands of people that are going to destroy them.
Sure.
So.
Commercial fishermen.
Construction guys, loggers. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because I mean that's where we're selling a lot of our bags to. Actually, as much as we do the outdoor industry, it's like.
Oh, you
drive through Juneau and you see people holding the stop sign in construction, and they probably have a sagebrush bag at their foot with their sandwich in it.
Yeah. I could see that.
So what as of now, before your water gear comes out, what is the most popular or best gear that people are using in Southeast? Because I know Jeff's been talking about it, and I know he's had some epic failures with some of this like fancy hunting stuff. So like, is it still just like the Helly Hansen rubber?
Yeah, Helly Hansen, Grundens.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's really just it just depends on what you want. I mean, do you want to be cold and wet or hot and sweaty and wet?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're...
Either way, you're wet.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to talk down any other of the gear out there, but it's just when you're in the conditions like that, a lot of it just doesn't hold up unless it is just straight rubber, A lot of the gear is great, but
the rubber gear is great. It's just hot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
low activity.
Yeah, especially low activity, like with the Gore-Tex and stuff, you need the heat to kind of, keep it waterproof. And if you're sitting in a tree stand for like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, and it's just rain is pooling up on you, it's finding the seams, it's finding in there somehow.
It gets in there, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm highly interested in that rain stuff.
I am too, especially... I'm a huge, as silly as it may sound to some outfitter types, I'm big on pants. Because rain jackets are, you're active, moving around. Maybe a lot of times you're standing, so maybe like rain pants aren't as important. But when you sit down and you put your knee down, or you're sitting on a four-wheeler or a boat seat, or just a random, you're around a campfire and you sit on a cooler and it's fucking wet.
Yep.
It's like it always soaks through the ass.
That's what we've got in the car,
that's what we have the same gripe. Yeah, that's why we're playing with it.
So you're feeling my pain here. Yeah. I don't know, man. You can always stand up and wear a long rain jacket that kind of goes over your knees and stay dryish with
Or your
some knee-high
waders.
boots.
But if your butt, especially if your butt gets cold, that's for me especially. It's a big area of my body that's cold.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of a miserable feeling when you're soggy bottomed out.
Yep.
And then I don't know. You get some weird sensations down there, and just things are weird. And,
No, and you're not as happy,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like I can deal with changing upper layer, or I bring multiple sets of rain gear, but pants are always the one that give first.
Yep.
I guess
Yep.
Like I'm a huge. I like the gauge rain pants.
Oh yeah.
The
some of those, yeah.
the thin ones with the built-in belt.
Not the over the shoulder.
Yeah. Just the pants. I love just riding in them. Like we'll go ride in with those, get all mucky, wet, whatever, peel them off, and then I'll throw my Sitka pants on and hunt in those. So like another pair of like those gauge pants is like what I would love to get into, something rugged.
The first pair we're playing with is just a regular, like a Grundon style over the shoulder, but
which is applicable to like the fisherman. Cannery guy.
Yep.
Probably makes a lot of sense for that.
But once we figure out one, I think it'll be easier to move.
And it's just, that's what we're using a lot. Getting out on the boat. We're doing where we're at. It's subsistence fishing, so we're going out, setting a skate. Just kind of a lot of boat time, and it's what we're using a lot. So
definitely,
yeah.
If you guys ever need some gear testers, be out here.
So looking at the colors, I've seen green, I've seen yellow, I've seen red, I've seen blue, I've seen black. Orange?
No orange. No, orange is not an option from our supplier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got an Instagram post up of you guys picking up a bulk.
Oh, the rolls.
Oh, yeah.
The rolls, yeah.
That first one.
That's the stuff there?
That's the stuff.
Yeah, so that's
Going
that's our shop, yeah.
And weird, it's raining.
It was a great, yeah.
Seemed to be a perfect day to go pick up some dry bag gear, dry bag material.
But yeah, I bought this van off the airport. It was a junker $500 van, and it's like my perfect freight van for having in the village. I haul all my stuff around.
Looks like it's got some custom cardboard trim panels.
You bet.
Right on.
What's the biggest bag you guys make?
We have a bag called the Cavern. It's the monster duffel you saw at the show with the 2 zippers in
It's
it.
135 liters.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the 2 zippers. Is that both access points to get stuff? Does it open all the way? Or that's like the 2 access points?
It's a whole one whole big cavern inside. There's there's not a separation.
These are all the same size ones.
Yeah, those
that's
are that's our
small
smallest duffel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's only one compartment, but just with 2 access points.
The main reason for that is I don't make a ton of them, and to order, I have a minimum on my zipper lengths because the zippers are all made custom to order.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not making like 1,000 of those a year or anything. So we put 2 in for that reason, but come to realize that it's actually pretty nice because we're selling those a lot to people doing like 7-10 day raft trips, like guys.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, put a big tent in there,
and you're not
something.
really hauling it around. You're kind of putting it in the boat, and it's not coming out often. You can, versus a roll top, you can kind of open and access that still while it's sitting in the boat.
Yeah.
So they are loving it because they're not opening a big hole and exposing everything to the rain. This way, you have where your stuff is. You're just opening a smaller spot.
Yeah, this is on this side, this is on that
And
side.
they still stuff nice, and they're handy. But they're mostly doing like just putting a bunch of food in there for like that's like their food haul bag. So we started just making a few more of those. That's another one of those that's not even on the website full time yet.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
We try and make them for shows and
special
then,
order. Type thing.
Secret menu.
Yeah.
The secret menu. That's right. Now, what about the smallest bag?
Smallest
Is it
bag,
that little
hip
guy?
pack. We also have like a couple of cam bags that are small, like camera and like for optics and stuff. Like Jeff Lund just ordered one, and he's like using it for his binoculars and really digging it for that. Yeah, so, then that's...
We're limited again on that side with the zipper size. It's like, so you can only go, like we just prototyped someone asked us for a really small, like kind of DOP kit bag. And we played around with it, but you can only go so small with the zipper. So,
I mean, with these zippers, if you get much smaller, it's hard to even get your hand in.
Yeah.
Stuff in there.
It seems like that's about as small as you can go where it's functional.
Exactly.
With the zipper.
So there are some limitations. And then we're limited, too, because we're using radio frequency welding along with the hot air. And with radio frequency welding, you're using dies, that are having to be machined. And we're just not... Well, we're not rich, for one. And so we're just not whipping this stuff out. But, yeah, we're just a little more limited. And, we've got a lot of products that we can't, kind of keep up making the way it is. So,
yeah. I actually had a question about, manufacturing. So we talked a little bit at the show Saturday. You said you got some help.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how do you really find employees in Kake?
Great question.
Well, it's like you said, you thought, a year ago you saw us and it seems like we're growing. I mean, that's what happened is I got some help,
Yeah.
Finally, Greta came on board and, it's been interesting. I mean, I've been looking for help for a long time. But,
and it's like you said, seasonal new guys maybe coming to town.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of new people coming to town.
It's hard because it's and we are the same way. You want to work certain months of the year and then you want to go hunting and fishing. So it's and it's kind of hard to run a shop with that mentality.
Sure.
So.
You want September off.
And you're like, well, us too. But yeah, so.
Well, and we're in a native village. So, I mean, we're the less 5% of the white people in the town. And it's a different culture. If sockeye are in, ain't nobody working.
No, everything's closed down.
Yep.
And it's just...
Which is awesome. It's so cool to be...
subsistence life.
Yeah.
And it's moose hunting season and people, someone doesn't show up to work the next day or the day after that and you're like, hey, what's going on? Oh, my husband got a moose. We're just dealing with it. I'm like, okay, could let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you need me, then I need this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, in the manufacturing part, so, so commercial orders to be filled and then just general public is manufacturing. Are you able to keep up with the demand?
Well, we're not really we don't do any wholesale.
Okay.
And we have interest in that, but we're a small shop. There's four of us working right now, and it's all handmade. And we are really spending a ton of money on our ingredients. We're buying the best materials we can find. We're trying to source everything out of the U.S. and of course the zippers come out of Germany because that's where the best ones we can find are. So we spend a chunk of money. So the margins aren't
pretty
monstrous.
tight.
Yeah. So we're selling, direct to the customer. We have some of the government agencies and stuff that are buying research teams, and we do a lot with the photography and film industry too, a lot of custom bags.
Okay.
But up until Greta started, it was basically made to order, and I was doing everything. So for the most part, which was tiresome.
Yeah.
We're
around
ramping
the
up.
clock, then.
We've got bags on the shelf now, and for the first time I think ever in 6 years, the website is not sold out of anything. We've got inventory for most things. Well, not after the show, I guess. But
Yeah.
Put it down.
If you're listening to this,
It's a later problem.
we're sold out.
It's,
It's like, hey, we got some cash flow. We can make some more shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so the 2 weeks after I started knowing absolutely nothing really about the shop, we got it was our first really big order of 100 bags. And so I kind of got just thrown into it instantly.
Greta got baptized by fire for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah, which was really cool. It was fun. I mean, it's so much easier to do when you have a big run of stuff or of one bag. It's just it's so easy. I mean, compared to just starting over and making new parts for new bags. But yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was our first big order since I've been there. So yeah.
First big single item order like that.
Yeah. Good way to learn too.
Oh. I don't know what I learned.
Repetition. The repetition with the machinery and the equipment more than anything, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're doing small batch. We're usually doing 24 bags in a run of a certain kind,
Yeah. How much does that take? Like, how long does that take?
We're trying to do that much in like a week. Yeah.
So you're talking 3 bags, 2-3 bags a day?
5 bags a day.
5 bags a day?
Yeah, with some wiggle room, yeah.
And it's, it varies. Like some bags, you do a run of these, you're doing a lot more than if you do a run of these.
Coming up for this show, though, it was like we had all these bags prepped and then like nothing finished until like the last 3 days. And then all of a sudden we had like 40 bags that were finished, which was awesome. But also, definitely a crunch.
And it's not like you're always finishing 25 bags a week because there's different assets of the production that are always going on. But then, like she said, all of a sudden there's a bunch of bags at the end of a month or something.
Yeah.
Are you guys taking each one and like testing it before you're like, all right, this one's legit?
Yep. There's actually a video of that too.
I think it was on their website.
I think if you scroll to the top, you'll find it.
Yeah.
Go back to the top here.
Oh, yeah, that third one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right here?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tank
So that's our dunk tank.
Yeah, we have a dunk tank. We fill them all with about 5 pounds of air, like you see there. And then we do submersion testing. So I dunk them all in that tank and inspect all the seams, all the zippers. And after doing this enough, we kind of know where the problem areas are. So we're like,
start looking.
Yeah. And just make sure that there's no air bubbles popping out.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, they've passed the test and they get to go off to our customers.
You know what I was just thinking? What's really cool about that is, so you kind of thumb in a spot, like maybe.
Well, so I'm
checking to make sure.
So I'm making like these little white. I have a little white chalk pen that I use for making marks on the bags.
Oh, okay.
So at this time, I'm also like just
cleaning
wiping those off. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing there.
I was almost thinking how cool. I mean, God forbid you have a catastrophic, capsize or you roll your kayak or fall out of your Zodiac or something. You can grab this thing.
Yep.
Hold it.
Think about that every time I fly.
Hold it tight.
Hold your backpack.
She's like, no, I'm not
flying over water. No, and I'm not sticking it under my seat either. I'm holding it.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I've had so many customers tell us about how like they've been waiting out in the salt flats in Florida and fly fishing, and the tide came in on them, and their hip pack like floated them back to shore. And
oh wow,
yeah. Another woman in Sitka, she capsized and had her gun bag fall out, and she grabbed her gun bag and got to shore with that. And we're not promoting them as PFDs or anything, but yeah.
They do trap. I mean, you don't even have to try. Just like closing them traps enough air that they'll float, which is cool.
Floating enough to hold you.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to do a little video we were out on the boat and pulling crab pots, and I was like, oh, let's just throw this day pack in the crab pot and sink it, and show people like I put like a little camera in there and a phone. I'm like, oh, let's just whatever. Well, the crab pot wouldn't go down.
Oh, because there's so much air in there.
Yeah, and I even squeezed the air out of it, and it was just still too much, too buoyant. So, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another video on the
testing.
Instagram, of John trying to sink a gun bag, I think. Trying to hold it down, but
oh
yeah.
Have you seen that?
It's old. Yeah. But yeah.
Way down.
Yep, I think.
You have a great page.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
for real. You take all these pictures, you do?
For the most part, yeah. I was really not
Oh, look at that on a snow machine.
Oh, look at that.
Sick.
The toilet paper? That's exactly what I was thinking.
that was a little COVID humor. Yeah. That was when there was a toilet paper shortage. I think I was doing a promotion. You could get 2 free rolls of toilet paper with it.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Sold.
I don't know.
Yeah, your page is dope, man.
Thank you. Yeah, but like you can see there, because we are living in the middle of nowhere, we're screen printing our labels. We're doing every aspect of it. We're
I was going to ask you about
making every
that.
part on the bags.
Yeah. Yeah, because it makes it hard when we kind of back to my original question with the manufacturing part. When your material costs are so high with high production, it's kind of a fine line there.
Oh yeah,
with how you can like have that much cash flow to cover stocking it and then building it and moving it and
then your suppliers are wanting you to buy a lot more all the time than
Oh yeah, sure.
We're really small in the grand scheme of things in the industry. So we've had really good luck with having some good relationships with our suppliers, especially our fabric supplier, where they're allowing us to have some smaller minimums and like working with us. because if we weren't working with them, I mean, we feel like they're making the best stuff out there. So
Yeah. So they make an exception for you guys.
they made it. I mean, they're still raising our prices, but yeah.
But that's one reason why we can't like get orange is because we have to put in such a huge order
Yeah.
for these primary colors that it's
Or
like,
like everybody wants us to make camo, and it's like your camo gets really expensive.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
you're
sure.
paying for the print on top of it,
Yeah.
and then you have to order like a minimum of 1,000 yards at a time, and
Oh yeah.
so
Your signature colors are really are beautiful.
Yeah, I
though.
like it a lot.
yeah, it's just the
Thank you.
primary color.
They're simple and I mean, when you look at this picture, very colorful.
yeah.
So we used to have yellow. We've kind of discontinued. It was just a nightmare to just keep clean.
Oh,
just even through the shop
it would mark
process.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
So you'd
marks
have a
up.
brand new bag that looked kind of used
Yeah,
up,
you have like some little dirty like.
smudge, or
Yeah,
it won't clean off.
Because with the RF machine, it's like metal on metal all the time, aluminum, and you're just getting this little metal rub and like that little kind of charcoal smear.
Do you have anything yellow left at all?
We have scraps and pieces, and we're still doing like custom bag orders. You know,
We
these
can do
Okay.
like
color.
multicolored bags that have like a hint of yellow, but yeah.
Yeah, it'd have
Yeah.
to be the scrap piece kind of mixed in
Exactly,
there.
yeah.
But I do have like a fair amount of like already pre-cut pieces from when we were doing production, so we can kind of like someone will ask for a yellow bag, and I'm like, well, I can't do a yellow bag. Someone just asked about one, and I was like, well, I can't do that bag all yellow, but I can do, you know, like the zipper panel in yellow. And she's like, oh, that's
okay.
cool. Can
Yeah.
you do the zipper panel in yellow and then the rest in black and some like yellow accents? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. And yeah,
We kind of need a camera bag, so we might have to throw in an order.
Sweet.
For the
Yeah.
field
Did you
bag.
guys got stuff in the truck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now after looking, I was like, I need a duffel. I need a duffel. I don't
Yeah.
know what size I need. I'm gonna have to look at all of them and see which one I want. Because after years and years,
Yeah,
those
those
other
are-
ones just get
those are
scraped.
dope,
That's
man.
that's so nice. I need one of those for sure.
I like the bright. I like
Yeah.
it bright.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can
And it's
find
good
it.
to have
It's
high
fine.
vids,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
but I just had such a hard time. Like I was turning a lot of these dirty bags into seconds and like giving a 10% discount. And it's just
Yeah.
dirty bags. And it's,
Right, because they're perfect. They're just dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like a not brand new looking item going out.
No, and I won't sell them on the internet. You know, I won't ship them off. So it's like they'll sit around a long time or wait for
Okay.
a show and
Yeah.
then just do a discount deal there.
Isn't that funny how being a like OCD perfectionist kind of like shoots yourself in the foot a little when it comes to that? That's right. Snap them.
That might be a touchy subject with some people.
It's like, Greta, that seam is basically perfect. You're the only one that sees the
I am
problem.
on vacation right now. I cannot.
My brother and I were yesterday. We were putting basically a universal roof rack for a vehicle on top of a side by side plastic composite roof, and
Wow.
it's angled right. So we're like, how do we get it on there kind of right? So we used hockey pucks
Oh,
to
cool.
kind of space them out.
Yeah.
with these conduit clamps, and so we get it all up there and drill the holes. Of course, once you drill them, it's one time deal, and we get to like shifting and adjusting this thing left to right to the point where it's like it might be a quarter inch off. I'm finding like, Dan, once this thing goes out on the trailer on the trail, no one's gonna notice or care.
Yeah.
But it's got tools and shit in it. And Daniel and I do this stuff in the studio too. We're hanging stuff up, and we're like, little left, little right. 10 minutes into this stupid thing, I'm like, enough is enough, man.
Shit,
That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
No one's ever gonna notice anything.
Yeah, but I
can only
notice
imagine.
it. I see it from
Yeah,
my
you can't help it. But
Now
it's just,
I'm like adopting the OCD. It's terrible.
yeah. Sometimes like somebody has to like, all right, it's good.
Good enough.
Yeah,
Good enough.
yeah,
We're not building Boeings here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. All right, this thing's gonna float. It's gonna seal. It's fine.
Let's take a quick break because I want you to go get that rain jacket.
Oh yeah.
Real,
Rain
real
pants,
quick.
rain
Rain
pants.
pant or whatever rain you got over there.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks, make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com. Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com.
All right, we're back.
It seems to be how it works. That's going on a lot too, man.
It's and especially post-COVID, it seems like.
Yeah, over the last year or two, for sure. That's a lot thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stuff we're making the bags out of is like a 400 denier, and this is a 200, so about half the weight.
Okay. Now, what size are these? Like a large?
XL.
XL. Yeah. Okay. 6-footer.
Yep, they're made for me, so yeah.
Yeah.
And then we put a pocket in them with a waterproof zipper, which is kind of something different for them.
Yeah, right here on the front.
Yep. They're not the quietest, they're not something you want to wear hunting, but
yeah.
I've also got some new fabrics that I'm playing around with to see what we can do, but we've kind of proven the
same manufacturer of the material though.
Pardon?
Same manufacturer that makes this material.
I've got some other ones from them, but I'm also playing with some other things too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're using material that's not exactly for that application.
For rain gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, to wear.
Yeah. So, but it's also, it's burly, it holds up, and it's lightweight, which is what we're looking for. So.
Yeah, and it just seems fitting to go with that bright yellow fisherman.
And this just happened to be what was available,
Yeah.
so we can, once we start doing it, we can kind of get into any color we want. But
yeah, this is the traditional dry bag material right here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And the T-zip zipper.
Because we figured too, that's like a wear area for fishermen and stuff.
So this is a smaller zipper.
Yep, it's a that would be like their number 8. These are a number 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you open that, you'll see it's hard once it's so short to really access
yeah, you're just
you can't
the hole is
exactly
yeah.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
The smaller opening you create, the harder it is.
Yep.
It's not really a true diameter of the hole.
And then if it was on a curve, you'd have even less. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd be
so if you're making a bag like this, much smaller, it just makes it really.
Oh yeah. You can't even barely get a hand in there.
Exactly.
Right. So it's just like a phone pocket or whatever. It's
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's way cool, man.
That's good for just riding.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just getting up in the mud.
Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah. Where we go moose hunting, we pretty much just have, I have 3 sets of gear. I have the gear I ride in, then I have gear I have for cleaning moose. And then I have my Gucci Gore-Tex.
With the pictures.
photo ops afterwards.
The shit that I'm wearing up on the knob. It's all clean and perfect. No blood or mud on it. It's how'd you get in there and get no blood or mud? Oh, I brought 3 pairs of rain gear just to make sure.
It's funny about the clothes for the photo ops. We've gotten to be friends with a lot of the guys, the wildlife troopers and stuff. And one of the guys out of Sitka, I'm not going to say much more than that, but someone had got a pretty good trophy goat over there. And they had come up on him and they were checking in. And he had 3 sets of different clothing in his gear. And he had taken his trophy shots in 3 of them. And then was basically auctioning off his photos to the highest bidder.
To those companies.
Yeah.
So he did a dress rehearsal for every.
Oh, that's next level.
Wow.
He's like, who you first who's the highest bidder for this photo?
No, that's an influencer right there.
That's an influencer.
Oh, good for him.
He's on his game, man.
That is hilarious.
Well, it's like you go running after a moose and then your buddy that shot it, he's all sweating and shit, and he's just in his like worn out T-shirt, and you're taking a photo. It's like, all right, hey, go put your Kuya jacket on, put your hat on,
and dry up a little bit.
Yeah, wipe your face off. Let's get a good photo, because this one right here is cool for like the homies, but I'm putting this one on Instagram. Like, you gotta look the part here.
Comb your hair, man.
Yeah.
Just sweaty.
Yeah. Did you bring your last Wild Project sweater? Go put that on.
That too. That has happened.
Okay, we got a little trivia here. You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The winner gets some. Gets a bag. There's a few questions. Thank you, Jack, for supplying the trivia here. First question. How long does it take to air dry a wet T-shirt at 33 degrees Fahrenheit in dry weather?
What material is the T-shirt?
Didn't say.
Is there wind?
Didn't say.
I'm going to say this is a standard cotton T-shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So standard cotton T-shirt, air dry,
30
in dry
what?
weather.
Just above freezing.
Yeah.
I would say 48 hours.
Okay.
Ooh.
Good guess.
I'm going big on that one.
That's a good one. That's pretty damn close.
I'm going to say 35.
Okay.
35 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 hours.
Ooh, good. 24 hours.
24 hours.
Wow. Well, that's encouraging,
Cotton
actually.
kills. Yeah.
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 Sure does. Sure
Like
does.
I died 12 hours ago.
But the shirt's dry now. All right. At minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit and dressed in casual attire, how long to get hypothermia?
There's like a number thing I know about this one.
I'll repeat it again. At minus 30 degrees,
Minus 30.
dressed in casual attire, how long to get hypothermia?
Minus 30 is very cold.
It's super cold.
I'm going to say hypothermic in 13 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I was going to
That's
say
probably way tight. I'll go with it.
I'll say 3 hours.
That's way too soon. 13 minutes? Damn it.
I will say 24 minutes.
Oh, wow.
10 minutes.
Oh, shit.
10 minutes. Minus 30 is insane.
I grew up in
Yeah.
North Dakota. I don't think that's
Oh,
How long did you say?
Whatever.
I said 3 hours.
Well, I'm just thinking about times that I've gone out of the bar
Yeah.
at 2 o'clock in the morning and it's 30 below and I'm waiting for a cab. And I'm
But
just
you've
like,
got
Yeah.
antifreeze in you then.
Yeah.
that's true, but okay, good point. But I mean, I've been out there shivering, waiting for
Yeah.
a cab.
It's cold.
Well, I would think the initial onset of hypothermia. I mean, you're not probably fully.
You're not full on hypothermia.
Okay,
Yeah, probably.
Convulsing. You're just starting to because
Doing
once
the
you start
symptoms.
shivering, that's
That's
considered
hypothermia.
Yeah.
the initial
Yeah.
hypothermia, right?
Yeah.
Damn,
Okay.
That's quick.
This is a good one.
30 below is cold though,
I'm
man.
going
Yeah.
much smaller numbers now. That's why I left North Dakota.
Minus 30
The
is.
last year I was there, we had broken the record for the most consecutive days minus 30 degrees.
Yeah.
it's
And normally it's like windy too. It's
Ugh,
just.
the wind chill is always, it's like 50 below,
Yeah.
You know, it's actually colder there, Minnesota, Dakota, those areas than Anchorage is.
Oh, yeah.
Like year round.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we have actually more of a mild climate in South Central Alaska than.
Yeah, and in the summer too, it can get crazy extremes. Like we have 100-degree days in North Dakota, and
I
it's
bet
just like,
easily
yeah,
sweltering.
yeah. But I
And
was home for
humid, right?
Christmas.
Well, you
yeah,
guys probably just sitting
humid.
in like a basin there.
It's
like
just a plain. It's
just
the
nothing
Great
there.
Plains. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a prairie land, flat.
Oh, it's
so
the
flat.
worst. I
Just
drove across and
extremes of
North
all?
Dakota was like, let's keep going. There's nothing here.
Western North Dakota, the Badlands are pretty cool and unique, but yeah, most of it looks like Nebraska and
Yeah.
Is that where it starts touching the foothills?
Yeah.
Is that where it gets
Yeah.
kind of cool?
Yeah.
Rolling?
yeah, the western part of the state.
Yeah.
But then now the oil field has kind of changed that whole area too. So the oil
Oh, yeah.
there has kind of gotten things, you know how that works. But
Maybe not as pretty as it once was.
yeah, a lot of traffic, a lot of big traffic, big trucks. And, But there's a really cool, there's Theodore Roosevelt National Park is in the Badlands there. And there's this really badass mountain bike trail called the Mattahay Trail. It's like 150 miles through the Badlands. And there's like buffalo roaming around through there. And just this really, really cool through bike biking
150
trip.
miles?
Yeah. Small.
Can you camp in it?
And then you actually like set up your food caches and water prior a long way. So you like drive down and kind of stock. And they have these locker kind of things set up. It's really cool.
Probably a big time like pack out situation too there, right?
Yeah. You'll usually kind of shuttle it, get dropped off and go through. So
The Badlands.
yeah.
What do they call it that?
That's
That's not the trivia.
I'm curious. Keep going.
I honestly, just because it's
Badlands.
kind of like rugged, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Badlands of South Dakota, Badlands of North Dakota.
Yeah, same. They kind of roll into each other.
Okay, there you go. Why is North Dakota
Part two,
called
yeah.
Badlands? The Lakota people dubbed this region Makosika or Badlands long ago because its rocky terrain, lack of water, and extreme temperatures made it difficult to traverse. Today, the Badlands are a great place for hiking, fossil hunting, taking a scenic drive, and spotting wildlife.
Yeah, not so extreme, rocky, or lack of.
Yeah, when you're in your car,
Yeah.
Yeti
Yeti cooler full of beer and water.
Yeah.
Fine.
good to go.
Got a rest area there.
Yeah.
They do. There's a rest area just outside there. That is probably one of the most scenic, beautiful rest areas I've ever been at on the way up there.
Nice.
Yeah, very scenic, beautiful.
Yeah, go back to that picture real
In the
quick.
Badlands.
It doesn't look like when you think of North Dakota.
And it's like there's all these different beautiful the color, like the sunsets.
Yeah, look at
the
that.
rocks
That's
and
beautiful.
stuff?
It's
Yeah.
really, really gorgeous.
Probably like a geologist dream there. Look at all those layers.
I can see where you see all, you have the fossils.
Yeah.
Stuff just coming
And
out
probably,
there.
I mean, what they say, tough to travel through? Yeah.
Mule deer country for sure.
Oh, man, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Just
But if
how-
you want to eat mule deer that tastes like sagebrush, that's where you find
Yeah.
I was going to
There you
say,
go.
look at that. There's hella sagebrush up in there. And zero reason for a dry bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of
It's so
Well,
dry there.
you keep water in there.
That's right. Like I said, the hip pack,
Yep.
right? Hip
Yep.
pack.
Yep.
Little ice, a couple
Six-pack
beers in
in
there.
there.
Oh, yeah. How many
Six-pack
beers
in there.
can you fit in the hip bag?
You can definitely put a 6-pack in there.
Okay, that's good to know.
You can put a 6-pack of tall boys in there.
Yeah.
You probably put 10
With
fucking
some
silver
ice.
bullets in there.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
I'm talking about. Little ice pack.
I'll send you a picture of it when I find out exactly.
Do some R&D.
Yeah.
We're going to do some real R&D.
All right, last question. When a mammal gets wet, it shakes to remove water from its fur. How much of the water gets removed from shaking? Percentage-wise.
Comes out of the water soaking wet.
When a mammal gets wet, it shakes to remove water from fur. How much of the water gets removed from shaking?
I'm going to say 45%.
It's a good one. I'm going to say 65%. Other side.
John, 10?
52.
52. Okay.
Playing
Yeah.
it safe this time.
Yeah.
Not going extreme either.
Yeah. The answer is 70%.
Whoa.
I think did I nail all the
Cool.
trivia
You're
today?
pretty
You're the
good.
winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Some
So
inside
I get to pick a
information.
bag, huh?
And the rest is evaporated via body heat.
Cool.
Okay.
70%. That's a lot.
That's substantial.
impressive,
I was thinking about my dog.
Yeah, how many
Yeah.
times is
Yeah.
your lab just unloaded on you? On the
What
side?
percent goes on you?
Yeah, there's another.
Maybe it's 45. Yeah.
10% goes on the front seat of my truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. On my couch.
Exactly.
That's funny. You mentioned when I was talking to you at the show about the black, I don't know if it was there, about the black bag, but you said they're the most difficult ones to make.
Yeah.
No,
Why-
you
why
let that
was
thing
that?
rip.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And why was that?
It's just because it's black on black. I'm not having any contrast when I'm on that. I don't know if you, like when you're looking at that.
Black
bottom.
on black on a black roller.
Yeah, and then black tape, and it's
Yeah.
just like kind of shadowy, and I'm just having a hard time seeing my seam allowance and really getting it. I can do it. It just takes me like probably 25% longer to make them.
We have an
So-
incredible amount of lights in the shop that are
I was going to
just
say,
like.
do you wear a headlight when you're actually building it?
Yeah, I do. I have all. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
I
got a
have
lot
like
of
a light
lights.
station. I have lights all
Is
around
that
my
kind of
machine.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Just to cover all those angles and whatnot?
Yeah, and just to prevent shadows. Like the shadows are the worst for me on that. And it's just I'm getting older. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. You know,
Yeah, welcome to the
Weird how that works, man.
Getting gray, eyes aren't working, your back hurts.
Can't feel anything.
Gotta go pee every hour.
I'm hungover for 2 days.
Oh my god,
Bro. Those pop-ups last for 2 days, man.
that's the worst. Man. The recovery time is not the same. My goodness, I used to go 2, 3, 4 nights in a row. No, I'm one and done.
Yep.
One and done, and I'm done. Yeah, like don't. It's like I'm laying down all day.
Totally
all day.
worthless. Yeah.
Is there any future plans on something that's like, this is the next thing? I know we talked about the rain gear, but as far as bags, is there something out there that's like, oh, people have been asking about this, or you have this crazy idea, or you've seen something that you want to kind of make better?
We're working on a like a sling style bag. You know, people are wanting.
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
hot thing right
it is
now.
the hot thing right now.
Yeah.
A dedicated binocular bag we've been playing around with.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, because you said you did something for Jeff.
Yeah, well, Jeff got just like a cam bag, but there's been so many people that want just like a camera or a binocular specific waterproof bag. So we've been playing around. I've got like a prototype that we've been toying with.
In theory, we've got this plan where Friday afternoons we'll like do development and like product design.
Yeah.
And we've done it a few times. We need to have.
then we get orders and we want
Yeah.
to take care of the customer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So it's like when we personally really need something is when we really do the product development and design. But we're getting better at, you know, setting aside time, because that's what's really fun. You know, that's like, you know, we're getting better at making these bags, and they feel like more and more, you know, routine. And so it's fun to set aside time to actually play
something new
Yeah.
and stretch your brain a little bit. Like
Yep.
the binocular pack that I'm working on is something that I want. So it's like, it gets pushed a little
It's more
further.
more
Yeah,
motivation.
Yeah.
You know, we get
Yeah.
a lot of people like asking, "Oh, do you make bags for dogs?" And
Oh.
yeah, that's interesting. But
Yeah.
My
I don't
dog
want
personally
binocular.
won't wear a bag, so I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it's just, we won't even have a good animal to test it on. So, yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, we use we're selfish sometimes in our product development. Like if it's something we need, it gets a lot more attention.
Yeah.
But really, up until the last year, it's just been making the bags as the orders are coming in, and we were behind. I mean, for the first 3 years, I had a 6 to 8 week waiting list. You know, I didn't even know what I was walking into. Like I took the business over. I apprenticed. Like it was a very interesting Alaskan situation with buying the business. Like had to apprentice with the people that I bought it from. They're this really unique, like hardcore Alaskan outdoorsy couple that's just hardcore on their boat all summer, kayaking, adventures. And they're 75 years old.
Wow.
But yeah, so I moved in to their house for the first 4 months of my apprenticeship. Like while I was like renovating a little space in the shop, turning it into like a studio apartment. And so it was like full on. I'd train with them during the day. I'd go home and eat with them at night. And, you know, just this crazy
Very
deal.
intimate.
Yeah, very, very intimate, very unique situation. Yeah.
Well, I bet.
And I didn't know anybody in town either, so I wasn't didn't have a social life at that point.
Did you kind of question your choice there? Like,
It's been a continual question.
like after the first week, you're like, I might just not show up tomorrow and disappear.
And it's like, you can't even do that. You have to wait for the ferry.
Oh, yeah. Hey, John's down here at the ferry. He's supposed to be in the shop. What are you doing down there?
Yeah, I went all in for sure, yeah. But it's cool. I mean, it's been education, you know, like I wouldn't have been able to full on like dive as deep into it right away as I did if I wasn't, you know, just kind of cut off from everything else, because it was an education. Like there's a lot of like proprietary stuff that they're doing that I like. The guy that kind of hooked me up with the job, or not the job, but like the connection with them, he's like, if you want to learn to make the best waterproof bags in the world, you got to go to Kake. So I was like, oh God, okay. And that's someone who I like really respect in the industry. So
And it's cool. Like, I mean, they live right up the hill from the shop, and they come in if I have like
they're still
a
around?
sewing question.
Oh, yeah.
They live literally
they
right above
probably,
the shop.
They probably just like salivate when you like.
It is their like,
They want to come down there.
It's their child, So it's cool because I mean I have never done commercial sewing, so it's like whenever I have a question, Elaine will come down and just so gently and nicely coach me through it, which is really cool. Yeah,
you gotta love that.
They're very unique humans. Like they've been on the cutting edge in the outdoor industry forever. Like we were talking about that first bag that they made. How that
the Patagonia one.
Yeah, well, she was making it on her own, and then Yvonne Chenard. Well, the story goes, Yvonne Chenard came into their shop, and he was friends, fly fishing buddies with Robbie. That's how they all got connected in the first place. And he's like, I need to have that, and I still have that bag. She gave that bag to me. It's this little red, like junky looking thing, but at that time it was cutting edge, it was the waterproof bag.
Legit dry bag.
And so that's what got it all started with the waterproof side of things. And like the people, our zipper reps in Germany, they're just like, she got us into like the bag market because nobody was putting T-zips in bags before that, and she kind of just like,
she's an incredible designer. She's just like
brilliant,
got the mind for it. It's really cool.
Genius. Like when they quit like doing the Patagonia stuff, she basically could have went anywhere and doesn't even work for anybody, and she's like, no, we're going
or been a consultant or something.
We're going to Alaska, we don't want anything to do with this.
Going to Kake.
Done, retired. Good for them.
And then they were basically kind of like part-time. From that time on, they were making bags. They're taking 3-4 months off every summer, kayaking, going out on their boat. They have a really nice boat, and they'll go 2-3 weeks at a time and just explore Southeast and take their kayaks with them. And they're doing it. They're like really doing it. It's cool.
Yeah, living in Alaska.
And they're still doing it. They're like talking this recently. They're talking about how they're planning a pack raft trip down this just hardcore
8-mile hike down a riverbed into Rocky Pass, and then
it's like deadfall all across it, and just
they invited us, so we'll be going. You
guys got a chainsaw bag?
You were the second person to bring that up.
What? Someone asked at the show about a chainsaw bag.
But I mean, you talk about deadfall and floating. I mean, you run into that.
Yeah.
You gotta have a saw, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
Have you guys been, obviously she probably had when in her days, but now that you guys are owning the business, been approached by some of these bigger companies and be like, hey, we'll buy you guys out, or we'll want you to bring your designs over here and we'll slap our name on it. I got to think you're probably turning people down on that.
We've had some interesting conversations, with different people. I mean, it's tough. Like this is a handcrafted product. You can't. It's really tough to mass produce high quality gear. So we've had like interest from some box stores, but the numbers that they're wanting like per quarter, are like
impossible.
What we're producing a year, and then they also want you to discount it like 35 to 50% so that they can mark it up. And we just don't have the margin to do that. And we don't want to do the work for less either, So,
that doesn't make sense.
But we've had some cool conversations. I mean, I met Steve Vernilla in an airport in Seattle, and just like went and sat next to him. I'm like, hey, man, I make these bags. I know you have a place in Southeast. If you ever need some gear, like we're making some pretty good stuff. If you ever want to try it out, let us know. And of course, he's like, do you have a business card? I'm like,
we
no.
never have business cards.
So he took a picture of the bag and then like ended up emailing me a few weeks later, and we got him a bag and stuff. And then he was very interested, and I don't even know if I should be talking about it, but whatever. He was really interested in our stuff, and like had his business development guy reach out to us, and they were interested in doing something, but our sizes, they thought we were a lot bigger company than we were, and it's business, and they
want to make money.
Yeah, they just wanted to like kind of buy you out and do some things, and we weren't quite to the size either for them, and I mean, and we weren't trying to like,
it was
sell
a cool conversation. I mean, it was interesting
flattering.
To see, like, extremely flattering. But so
that's cool.
Like you were still like technically an accepted product that they would love to have in their line and in their in their bag, but
they had just bought like a bunch. I mean, they're kind of blowing.
Consolidating.
And they just
a lot of
bought
shit.
some other companies.
Not kind of, they are.
Yeah, no, they are for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But it is cool, like on the other side, like Sherry from Alpaca Raft. So I've heard, I mean, John chime in, but like talked to Robbie and Elaine about like how to start hot air welding when she was starting the pack raft business. So it's like there are, I don't know, Robbie and Elaine have just like all these connections to like these like the initial stages of like big companies, which is really cool. So
they knew everybody in the industry. I mean, like Robbie was. He was like if you're familiar, like Bill Briggs did the first descent on Grand Teton. Robbie was with him on it, and then like didn't do the descent because they thought it was too sketchy. And like Elaine was one of the very female fly fishing guides in the country. You know, they've just been doing like,
they were like I don't know, they were in with the climbing crowd, the fly fishing crowd, so they know all the big.
And that's like wow, they were friends with like Yvonne before he was a big deal, and they're just you know,
they've mixed it up with everybody from every angle somewhere through a connection, basically.
They were in Jackson Hole, like Robbie was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, doing like ski coaching before Jackson had a stoplight, and then they got a stoplight, so he's like, whoa, we gotta go. You're getting way too big for my britches. I gotta roll out. And then they moved to there to Pinedale, Wyoming, and you know, they were doing fly fishing guiding there and had a little outdoor gear shop, and just like, you know, they were always ahead of the time. Like they were outcasts there because they were like these tree huggers or granola, whatever, people like kayaking and adventuring, and everybody else was kind of like, what are these guys doing in our town? But and
they were different.
They were out on the Wind River and just doing cool stuff. And
that's awesome.
He had like permits to all the cool spots before anybody was doing guiding, and and then they just said, there's just got to be too many people.
I mean, they when they were coming up kayaking in Southeast Alaska, they were like, I mean, everyone in Southeast, like when you're doing big trips, are going out in these like sea kayaks, like 17-foot long, like really ocean-worthy kayaks, and I don't even know how or why. I think it's because Robbie had back problems, but like they were doing it in like sit on top kayaks, like big ocean trips
custom
made, but like just like really wild, like
weird
to be
boats.
Not weird. In there like sealed in with the whole.
No, just accepting the water. Yeah,
they must have had
something, but like I don't know. It's just they're definitely adventurers. Yeah.
What about the other side of the spectrum, like people trying to maybe steal an idea or something? Have you had to send out like a cease and desist to anyone that's like,
compete or something?
You guys are trying to copy our stuff, or you don't have time to even be worried about that?
Well, we don't have the money to be worried about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, from the people that I talk with, like my zipper reps and stuff, Elaine really did like do some groundbreaking work in the waterproof bag industry, in my opinion. And if you look at bags, I think you can see a lot of like maybe influence. But I mean, you can do some patenting or whatever, but you're only as good as your lawyer or whatever, and we're not trying to do that kind of stuff. I mean, we're just making what we're making, and we can't compete with the big guys, and we're not.
And we're not even trying. Like, we're so small, and like we love, you know, like we like to work, but we also love to like go and use the bags. So it's like. I don't know, we're in this place where it's like, how much bigger do we want to get versus like, you know, like.
There's a line there where
there's
it's too big and it takes away from your fun time.
Exactly,
or your family.
So it's like.
And we have friends like, because like now Sitka the tourism there has really just skyrocketed since COVID. And we have friends that are doing some big business stuff there and have really blown up in the last couple of years. And they're just like, yeah, man, we're making money, but the quality of life value is
gone down.
So it's this juggling act for sure.
Yeah. So.
Do you guys do anything else other than make the bags? Yeah, work-wise. That's it. It's taking up the whole.
I don't. I mean, there's some like I've been starting to dabble into some like little bit of consulting stuff with like the hot air and radio welding.
Okay,
but that's a really small part. Greta's done some like crazy. Fun adventure. She's looking at going to work for the port protection reality show. Is it port protection?
It's on the fence, but yeah. So like I mean, I've my like work life has always been that I get the whole summer off, and I like structure my working around that. And so, I mean, for the past 4 summers, this will be the first summer that I'm not going up for like a substantial chunk. I've worked up at a salmon stream up on Chichagof Island, which is north of Sitka. And so I've kind of supplemented my income by doing that. And it's not like I make tons of money, but you live in this remote cabin just like in the middle of nowhere, and
counting fish or something.
Counting fish, yeah. Checking like doing some just like basic like stream biology, and
She's got a biology background.
I got a marine biology degree. So that's like in my background.
She also rowed crew at Cornell.
Okay, anyway. I like living.
I kind of asked for that background. You didn't mention that.
Well,
she's very modest.
So I like to supplement. I like to supplement my I like switching it up. I mean, that's what keeps it interesting, right? So I don't really know. We haven't really talked about it, but I don't really know what my summer looks like exactly.
It's coming up fast. Are you making bags?
Yeah. You better make a bunch of bags first.
We got a lot of bags.
I was really efficient in the winter.
We've been cranking out. Yeah. We got to we took January off, and which we usually do. Try to like just go see family, go somewhere, get some sun, and then
take a breather.
Yeah, and then we just hit it hard in the beginning of February. And
we actually came back earlier this year than ever before, so I feel like I put in my time.
And that's the goal. I mean, like, I don't want.
Yeah, the goal is to have a happy life, right?
Enjoy the summer. When you get sunshine in Southeast, you get out there. Like,
take a day off and go.
And
play.
if it happens to be a Tuesday and it's been raining for 2 weeks, guess what? It's a Sunday. Don't work on Sundays.
That's the interesting.
Sunday. Got it.
That's the interesting thing about having these 2 new employees, because we have the exact same. We're like, we're trying to make some money and like put out some bags, but also like we like going outside a lot. So it's been interesting trying to balance that with like having new employees and figuring out like how they need money, so it's like,
and they have families,
so it's like and
keeping it consistent for them.
So we're trying to figure out like how to grow but also keep our way, like our way of life, the way that we want it. And like the reason to have a small business is to like make it kind of exactly what you want. And so trying to figure out that balance, but also the bags need to get made. So trying to figure out what that looks like. And
we do want to grow the business, we feel like
there's a little bit more room.
Yeah. We feel like more people need them, it's really validating, like being at this show this weekend, and like the people that our past customers, those are our best salespeople. I get guys, well, even just like Chad, your bud, who came and bought a gun bag at the show. Mm-hmm. He's like, he saw yours, and people get a little gear envy once in a while.
Sure,
and it's good. But
that was my intent when I bought it too. I was like,
cool.
Well, it's really cool when you come with something that no one else has.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good feeling.
Made here, it's like
that too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. We did 2 parking lot bag deals before we came here today. People like called us up after.
Just like minutes before coming here.
There's about to be a third one after the show.
At the subway parking lot, we just did one.
You got the stuff.
It's so funny.
You got the gears.
People just have to think about it, and like I think that's really cool. Like I know it's a big investment, and so I'm just like, you should think about it. It's like, if you really need it, great, we make a really cool product, but like, I don't know, I don't want someone who's just gonna like buy it. Like we had this couple come into the shop. They came for bear hunting, and they needed a bag to bring back their like hide and head, which is awesome. But they bought our biggest, baddest like duffel bag, and I'm like, cool, I hope you use it.
And they're from Utah, so they're like not a big deal, but like we don't make that many of them. I mean, I'm kind of a freaking bag Nazi,
Yeah.
A trash bag and a one-time use cooler would probably work fine.
But you can't get anything in Kake.
Okay.
So
the airline had changed where you can't just check. You can't just put on a plastic bag anymore, or
it
plastic
needs
bag
to go in a
in
container.
It can't go in a cardboard box because they're getting people bleeding stuff all over, whatever.
Yeah.
With the people at the airport are buds of ours and they're friends, and they're like, oh, well, they're like, where can we get something then that we can put? And they're like, go down to Sagebrush.
Which is awesome.
They came in and they bought like a
$500 bag?
No,
$625
bag, and they're just putting their bloody bear carcass in that, which is fine, but you know, I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, if you look at if you came in, you flew in, you paid a guide, you
Right.
bought a tag, out of state license,
Yep.
another $500, like fuck it.
What is
and
it?
it's an
You're on
Alaskan made
vacation.
item. You can come back and tell that as part of your story.
Yep, exactly.
Got my bear back in
It's
this
a
bag I
souvenir.
got from Kake. I mean, you know, even if it is just balled up in the corner of their shed now, it's still served
the problem.
I know. It needs to be out on a raft. You know,
right?
getting used
like,
again.
I want them to get beat up. I mean, I want.
See, and that's the problem. We're like trying to make money, but we also like, I don't know.
I want to be selective.
Hard to be an idealist. Yeah.
You should be like, if you buy our bag, we need a picture of what you're doing with it every couple months.
We need confirmation that you're,
I'm going to need a background check on exactly what it is you're going to use this thing on an annual basis. Kind of like when somebody buys a puppy from you.
Yeah,
want to do a quick bio on them. Like, is this the right home for my bag?
It's too soon. I just did that.
We just fostered. We had a shop puppy that we were fostering for like 2 weeks.
Oh
and
my
we
gosh.
just gave it.
I like interviewed it wasn't even my puppy, but I was like, we had it for so long. I interviewed so many people, and I was like, nah.
We became very attached.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, almost like a keeper.
Oh yeah, it was. She was a keeper for sure.
I put a disclaimer in the note. I was like, and if you ever don't want the puppy, just let
take
me
it
know. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you guys for coming in and chatting with us and reaching out. And man, amazing stuff that you guys are making. It's so cool to find people that are making awesome stuff in our state, and backing it up, just backing it up with the warranty and just, the love. We can just tell that you guys love this, and you put a lot of effort and time and thought into creating these products that people need, and they're going to use for a lifetime.
Well, and that's what we're thinking about when we're making them too. It's like, what if somebody's going to need it to get their butt to shore, good enough isn't good enough. We have to make sure. And
John has an extremely high,
I just want them to be, I don't want them to fail, period, And that's like with the lifetime warranty. We're not putting a lifetime warranty on them and then just like, oh, it failed, we'll just send you a new thing. I want them to be 30 years old and you're sending it back to me to put in a zipper, and that's the first time you've ever had an issue. That's the objective,
Yeah.
And that's what we're at. We're like, bags have been made now about 25 years. We're getting them back, 25-year-old bags. We're putting new zippers in them, and we're saying, hey, have another 25 years. That's the goal. Like,
way cool.
That's like if you're talking about being a conservationist or whatever. I mean, that to me is like, we're not making stuff out of like the most, let's say sensitive like materials. It's polyurethane coated fabric. Yeah. But if you can own it for 30,
not quite
30,
green, but But you're not junking up the world with a bunch of shit. Throwing it in the trash later.
No, and if something happens, we'll fix it. We want to fix it. We don't want it getting trashed.
It needs to always live in a gear shed.
Yes.
Well, like, it's like the Kirby deal. Like, you can buy the cheap thing and buy it every year, or you buy the cheap bag, and then in 2 years it's done, and where does it go? In the trash.
Buy once,
and then you're gonna have to get another one. We might as well just get the best one that's good forever.
Well, and like every show we do, we talk to people who are like, well, I've been buying like a new dry bag for $50 every year for the last 5 years. I'd have been money ahead if I'd have just bought your bag, And that's the truth. It's buy once, cry once. You spend the money up front and then don't worry about it.
That's right. Sold.
Yeah, that is such a like cliche but so true thing. It really like cements in home in Alaska. Like the buy once cry once thing. Like buy a good scope. Buy a good ring gear, buy good boots, buy good dry bags, buy a good whatever piece of equipment that you're using the shit out of.
Well, and if you've been out there and had something fail, you learn that you don't want that ever happening again, because that can be like end your trip.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, it could put you in a dangerous situation. It's like, That's
true.
I had one question. I had it in my notes and I just brushed across it. Is there any thought of a storefront anywhere else but Kake?
Yeah.
There's a
We
lot
thought
of
about
thought,
opening
yeah.
up in like, so you talk about Sitka and Ketchikan and some of those. I feel like that would probably be really, really more of your ballpark, but like South Central Anchorage. I mean, is there an idea that maybe?
There's a goal. I mean, but
Oh, okay.
we're trying to get product. I mean,
If we made some good friends who could like do it, you know, like for like not as much of a percentage, you know, because
Okay.
like we don't make, you know, a crazy percentage on the bags. And so if we could do it in a way where like, you know, we still get, you know, some money out of it and like they get some money out of it, like it's definitely been in our thoughts for a long time.
And that's something we're talking about too, and is like getting some actual like ambassadors, kind of like a rep almost, to help us out with trade shows and maybe doing pop-ups in some of these other markets. Because we
I mean-
just, you can't, I don't know, we aren't able to spend a ton of money on marketing, and up until this point we haven't even been, I've never considered it, because it's just like I've had my foot on the brake because I was having a hard time producing, you know.
But like the number of like business cards we gave out this weekend, it's just like, you know, just like having our product in front of people and like letting people know our names and like see the bags and feel the bags is like huge.
Yeah.
And it's like once a year we get up here. So
it's
That's
tough when
why I
you
asked you that.
When you look online and you're comparing our bag, you know, a $455 day pack to something on Amazon for $55. I can understand. It's a tough like entry. Like, why would I spend that much or whatever? But when we get people at the shows, and like there was a guy yesterday who's just like, oh my God, I've been following your Instagram and I've been like reluctant to pull the trigger. And he's like, I get it.
Now I touched it.
Yeah,
I want one.
Yeah, and he walked out with a duffel bag, and he's like, I'm gonna be a customer again, you know.
He needed just every reason to buy one. He just needed to put his hands on it.
Yep.
He needed something tangible.
and
then
once
he,
you
and then
see
he had
like
to text his wife, but
She's like, approved.
Yeah.
Approved.
yeah.
Let me check
Always
the credit
gotta
card
text the wife.
statement. You paid off last month. Okay, you can have one on it.
Well, thanks guys for coming in. Appreciate
Amazing
it.
work.
Appreciate
thank you
love the
guys
products.
for having us so
Thanks,
much. It's
yeah.
really
Great story,
It's really
too.
flattering to be here for sure.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time. I mean, you
Yeah.
came from Kake. You're up here for the show to take some free time of the evening and
Yeah.
to work around. We had the volcano and we're trying to schedule stuff. And I'm really, really grateful that you guys got your own night too. I mean,
Thank you,
and thanks for coming in, and great work. It's been a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yeah,
Keep
likewise.
doing what you're doing, and ultimately keep living the lifestyle that
Yes.
you are with that like work-life balance. I know you said the growth and the whole thing, but you guys are living, you're not living the status quo American
Yeah.
lifestyle. And I envy people that do that, because I do. I have a day job. I raise children. I've got a mortgage and all that
Yeah.
shit. And I'm grateful for it, of course. But when I hear these stories, it's like, in a sense, in this little 2 or 3 hours tonight, I got to kind of live vicariously through what you guys get to do, which is, sometimes I call it la la land.
Yeah.
Even though you're
That's
working
it.
and grinding and stressing and you have your own angles of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys are really in a place that just not a lot of Americans and people get to experience and live. So, man,
Thanks
you guys
for
keep
saying
doing
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you don't realize
Yeah.
how much that means to us too, because we wonder too. Like, we're talking to our friends who are building these businesses, and we're like, God, we should be amping up
Stability
this,
and
that,
all
and
those
the thing.
things. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's-
yeah. And it's just like we are living in like Never Land on the
Yeah.
on the island, you know.
Yeah, I mean that with all due respect.
Yeah. No.
But
yeah.
like I
yeah.
have a friend, he's an older guy, 75-year-old man who we have coffee with a couple times a week, and he's like, John, we're the 1%ers. He's like, we are the 1%ers. Nobody else. We are the 1%ers. Nobody's living like this. We're
right.
You know,
That's what I'm
it's
talking
like,
about,
yeah.
man.
He's right.
We're lucky.
He's right.
I only
He's
wish
right.
I could live that way. I tell my wife all the time I'd love to live in a small town, homeschool my kids,
Yeah.
scrape by, but I could hunt and fish and play and just make it work. And, it just doesn't.
Well, and it's just like, what's your measure of wealth? You know, like
Yeah.
how do you weigh
Yeah.
what's really wealth? You
Well,
know?
Yeah.
in my opinion, you guys are some of the richest people in the world getting to live the life that you get to live.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
Yes. Well said.
kudos
man.
to you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sagebrush Dry on Instagram, sagebrushdry.com if you're looking to purchase some of the products. And we're backing this up with our word that this is legit stuff. So check them out, guys. Thanks again for coming in, John, Greta. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Great Alaska Sportsman Show, or excuse me, next weekend you got
Fairbanks Outdoor Show.
Fairbanks Outdoor Show. Maybe the Valley Show next spring.
Yeah,
that would be
possibly.
Cool. Yeah.
And we're gonna do the pop-up at Double Shovel for the meat party.
Yep.
next year.
Okay.
We'll do the meat party for sure.
So we got possibly 4 appearances next year, 2024.
We just visited with was it Josh, who was one of the owners at Girdwood Brewing? So we're kind of working out a pop-up there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
we want to get around here.
Do those pop-ups as much as possible. Get your butts up here and get these products in front of people.
Yep.
The population's in Anchorage, man.
Yeah.
That's
know.
it.
Sure.
That's what's up.
And there's a lot of people just getting it, doing it.
Yeah.
There are.
And that's what we want. Like,
yeah.
we can go sell them other places and to these people that have a pile of money and that are going to buy them and use them 2 weeks a year.
Alaskans are who we want to sell to. It's
we
just
make
like
them for Alaskans.
Yeah.
Alaskans, this is why we
overbuild
the shit out of this stuff because we know how they use stuff.
We tear shit up.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
Thank you, Alaska. Thank you for listening. And as always, stay wild.
You'll remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th, handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org.
Not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and is too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.